Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 32 of All Caps. I'm Isaac Anderson, the author of Song of Bones and the Garden Maze, and I'm joined by the one, the only. It's Tim McKay. Hey, Tim McKay, how you doing?
Howdy, Isaac. Good to be back. I'm doing
It's good
good.
to have you back. Are you going to smash any keyboards today? Are you going to talk about Steve? Or are you going to...
Maybe all of the above. Steve for sure. Keyboards. It was a close call. I think just a week ago, maybe two. I think I posted about it, but this time I just changed the batteries and gave it a quick clean and cleaned
Yeah.
under some of the keys, and it
Why
seemed
do you
fine.
keep getting like cheap, stupid keyboards that break?
Yeah, I mean this one's lasted me an okay amount of time. You know,
Okay. How
yeah.
long is okay?
I mean, if it lasts more than 1 or 2 years, I'm happy. I think I'm not very kind to my keyboards, so I'm going to give them some credit, credit where it's due, because otherwise it's performed very well. But I was not happy. Yeah, when it started again, it's always it's like clockwork. When I am thick in drafting or editing, that's when it starts doing this. So I'll
Right.
be in the middle of writing a page or adding a chunk during editing, and suddenly three extra spaces, misses five letters in a row. You get it. And next thing you know, what's on the page is a total mess. So that
Yeah.
keyboard, the one I did smash, it deserved it. I gave it every chance to apologize, repent, and go the right way. No, sometimes you just have
You
to take
gave
a
him a
sword to a
good,
keyboard.
you gave him a good level warning.
Yeah, I was very patient. It was at least a month of suffering before I finally took a sword to that sucker. So yeah.
So you have been Mr. Busy. You've been on every show possible.
No, that too. Yeah, I've been busy in other ways, but yeah, I think
You have,
this
yeah, you have been busy in other ways. I'm
I'm
talking
getting
specifically about, your amazing talks about your book with
yeah.
various popular people. Now, I should have watched some of them. So I didn't I don't so I would not ask the same questions. But I think my mind knows you well enough to ask original questions. So my first original question for you is, why the heck do you live in Canada? You were just born there? Were you like, you're choosing to live there now still? So
At some
why
point, it
why
stops being an accident of birth and starts being a
Yeah.
conscious
Now I
decision.
I
Yeah.
I did check. I did check on your Twitter. You are in fact from Canada. Twitter did confirm. So you haven't been bamboozling us.
Now, for the record, you might have been beaten to that question by Mike and Rowe on Bald and Balding,
Of
because they
course Mike and Roy
love
would beat
talking
me
about
to it.
my Canadian origins. Yeah, it's I love it here. I do. Ask me a month from now, I might be singing a different tune when we have snow higher than I am. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
which we
Snow is death.
we got a pretty good storm. I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks ago, and but most of that is melted at this point. It always starts. Winter always starts like that. But yeah, another month from now, I mean, yeah, I would say end of December, definitely mid January, we will have thick snow and some intense cold. But I
Yeah.
like the variety. I don't know.
I've been writing quite a bit of Cold and Snow in the
Mm,
Song of Bones sequel. Does a lot of the Canadian weather stuff affect your writing? I've noticed you've kind of stuck to kind of more foresty, more deserty kind of things, at least from what I've read so far in your stuff.
yeah, I've thought about it. Funny enough, I'm starting to veer more tropical, and you mentioned desert. So, in book two, the sequel to the Fall of Selvandrea, like I'm starting to explore some desert regions, and that's getting fun. And marshlands too. Uh, some marshland and some swamp in a still in the same nation but different part. So yeah, like different environments, kind of exploring around through imagination where I don't necessarily get to live. Yes. Okay, yeah, see, that's where I fail as a Canadian. I like gravy on fries. I don't really like the cheese. I don't need it
You're
for
not a poutine man?
yeah, I'm
Now,
not.
what
So
when I went to Poutine to visit my brother-in-law and his family, um, poutine was pretty good. I
it is
enjoyed the
good.
poutine.
There was I might have mentioned this on a previous show, so we've probably laughed or joked about this in the past, but when I was going to school in Peterborough, which is about 3 hours from where I am now here in Ontario, um, not the best city to live in, but it has its perks. One of which was this 24-hour place. So one, they had 24-hour breakfast, which is great when you're a college student. But the other thing that was good was that it had over 100 kinds of poutine. So I'm talking, uh, just the weirdest combinations you can imagine. And the one I always went for, kid you not, was called the whoop ass. The whoop ass poutine, and that had roasted chicken, salsa, diced tomatoes and onion, and a few other
You
things.
have to
It
stop. You
had
have to stop right now. You have to stop. You
really
can't go
hot,
on. You can't go
really
on.
hot, hot sauce on top of fries and gravy, and that was heaven. That was
2:75 a.m. I'm a college student. I need a good old bucket of whoop ass poutine with my chicken and hot sauce. And oh, I need that right now.
yeah,
I need
that
that right
was
now.
peak Canadian. Well, see, I feel like most other Canadians would say that that's a travesty, but I loved it. It was so good. It was so good.
Yeah. Well, college students follow by different rules
Yeah,
during that
that's fair.
time of their
That's
life.
fair. I don't know. I think I would still be able to handle that now, but most of my friends, US or Canada, that level of spicy, yeah, maybe not for everyone.
So in the Father of Shadow and Death, your
Got
main
that sucker
guy,
right here.
would he like that poutine? What would he be eating? What would he order?
Oh, I wanna say that
Would he be a
Braddock
poutine
is
guy at all?
no, he's probably I wanna say a bit of a meat and potatoes kinda guy, you know? He aims to be suave, he aims for a higher class, so he would try to eat really, more, he would go to, like, a Michelin, star restaurant and try to hold his own, keep up appearances, and then he'd be the guy who'd sneak off to the washroom and, his stomach wouldn't be able to handle it. That he's that kinda guy for sure.
Okay.
Keeping up appearances, but his own tastes probably very simple.
So it's so everybody knows about your book. Everyone in the chat probably knows about your book.
I
And I'm
think that's
sure
probably
people asked you
accurate
where
from
the
what you
story
see here.
came from, why you went dark, yada yada yada. But my thing I want to get into, when you were writing the city that it takes place in, how did you approach writing that city? Because I'm thinking about the city I'm about to write for my
Mm,
stuff. I'm thinking about how that city works, and I'm doing a comic, and I have to draw a lot of city stuff. I'm thinking about how that city works, and I want to keep it different from the different cities I have in my pantheon of stories.
yeah.
How do you? Is there a way you approach writing your city?
Uh,
Did you have a logic approaching to it, or
yes and no. A lot of it was pantsing to a point, but I need to be very careful saying that because I drew from specific mental models from what I've read in the past, like a lot of history and historical fiction. So some of that was history studies from back in the day, and then some of it was just fiction, historical fiction for fun. And yeah, I mean, I had in mind a bit of a blend. So there were elements of ancient Rome, at the
mm,
peak of the empire, though. But that I used to create sort of the historical backdrop. So sometimes when I reference like uh, marble archways and things, it's drawing from Greek and Roman city types. But then I wanted to build on top of that something closer to Napoleonic Paris, maybe with hints of Gothic London, because I did want that feel of Gothic horror. So in my mind too, the setting had to be. I wanted to give that vibe of imperial capital, right, and splendor, but with that undertone of Gothic horror. For me, the setting had to serve the vibe. It had to serve the feel that I wanted the reader to have during the story. So if something, I tried to give it depth and richness, but if I wouldn't explore part of that context for the sake of world building that didn't serve the story, So it would be fun to go. I do plan to go back there. Book 3 of the series. So like not this because this is a prequel, but and then you have the Fall of Selvandrea, and then you have the next book, The Light of Mazara, and then the book after that, that will bring us back to yeah I was going to say Selvandria, but that's the other one. Nemeralda for this one.
back to Nimralda?
Yeah, yeah. I don't think it's a spoiler. I think it's fun. The title for book 3 is already decided. So
Hmm.
that's going to be The Death of Hakaz. So if you've read any of the books, but if you've read The Father of Shadow and Death in particular, that should ring some bells. So that's going to be fun. Yeah.
Very cool. I've been trying to like I want my city, Green Hill in Song of Bones.
Mm,
I want it to feel unique. It's always been kind of a little bit corrupt, a little
mm,
bit grimy, but I'm trying to think of ways that I can do that in unique ways that I haven't seen before.
mm.
Like I'd love to have weird like city laws, but not
Okay.
have
Yeah.
them be that'd be hard to it'd be easy to make them kind of goofy and silly.
Yeah.
I want like in universe logical weird laws that would be in this city that you would be unique to it. Um,
Out of Trinity.
I haven't been able to do it yet. I have it in my notes. Make weird laws, but I haven't approached that yet.
I have two questions on that front. Um, yeah. Well. Okay. So remind me Three Musketeers if I don't remember after the first question. But first question, do you have like? Because this was tough for me. A lot of my settings in the past, I've had a few big cities, but most of the settings have been on a smaller scale.
Hmm.
So this time it's an imperial capital, and I had an idea of the population roughly, and then representing that in writing can be tough because no matter you can say it, you can say, oh, there's this many people. Uh, you can say it out loud. You can say this many people died in this catastrophe. Depending on the size of the catastrophe, that tells you how many people. You know, there are some buildings that get destroyed in the book without
Hmm.
spoiling anything, and that gives you, because of their importance culturally, I think that gives you a sense for scale for the size of the city. But it's still, that's a hard vibe for me to cap. I found it hard. I found that was a fun but difficult challenge to writing a
Yeah,
city, is like capturing the sense of scale.
yeah. I mean, I've in my early drafts for the Green Hill stuff, um, I've found that straight up telling just a quick sentence like how big the city is.
Mm,
And I'm pretty sure I did it in a lazy kind of way. I need to redo it a little bit, but I did write a market scene. It's kind of a dream.
okay,
He's
yeah.
dreaming of the city. I don't want the reader to be too long in the forest without tasting something different. So I gave him a dream of the city again. So and for that, I feel like I have my sense of scale. The first version of that dream was too detailed. I talked about the tents and stuff too much in the markets. I had to scale back a little bit.
Mm,
But I mean, crowds and bumping into things and that feeling of claustrophobia and having the claustrophobia mixed with the expanse
mm,
um I was playing with, and I think it did it okay. I think it did all right. I'll know when I read it again in a couple of weeks when I have fresh
fair.
eyes.
So the other question or thought I had was then, we might have talked about this before too, but have you seen, this was one of the newest Three Musketeer movies that came out. It was the one with Logan Lerman
Probably not.
Matthew McFadyen. And
Last one I saw was A Man in the Iron Mask with
okay,
baby
so that's a while
DiCaprio.
back. That's a classic. That's freaking amazing. Um, but in the newest one, oh, the guy who plays, I think it's Aramis, yeah, because he's the priest, yes. So, the same guy who plays the bowman, or whatever his actual name in the Hobbit
Yeah,
movies,
yeah.
Luke Evans, right? So yeah, so he plays Aramis, and he has this hilarious moment. Like they tried to capture the humor that's supposed to be part of the Three Musketeers, but there's this hilarious scene where he gives D'Artagnan a ticket, like an actual like ticket for his horse crapping on the street in Paris.
Okay,
Yes,
okay,
Orlando Bloom is in
yes.
that, and I hate him in it. I love Orlando Bloom, but he's
Was he
so
one of the
bad.
was he one of the Musketeers? He wasn't a Musketeer,
No, he's
was
the
he?
bad guy. He's the
Oh, he was bad.
Duke of come on, Buckingham, right?
The Duke of Buckingham.
Yeah,
I
or
it's been
some
so long to have seen any Musketeer stuff at all.
fair.
The BBC series?
Yeah, if
Yeah.
it's the one I'm thinking, yeah, I loved that series. It was very well done. Yeah, anyway, so just it made me think of the weird laws because they tried to show like the concept of tickets exactly as like modernized tickets, but
Tickets.
in like a yeah, golden age Paris setting, and it's really funny. It's just so dumb.
That's a good
Um,
that tickets is fun.
yeah, it worked.
Tickets are fun.
That part I did like. I got a weirdly fun laugh out of it. Like D'Artagnan pulls it off the horse and crumples it and throws it at his chest, and they. end up in a
I
sword
don't.
fight later.
I'm racking my brain. I can't recall a fantasy book where someone is given a ticket in the city.
Mm.
That
I don't know.
is
I
that
can't. Yeah, I can't think
that
of one.
feels fresh to me.
Yeah,
That feels
yeah.
fresh. Okay, maybe that's on the. I already have a character in mind who gives the tickets.
There's potential there for sure.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
okay. I need to make a note.
yeah.
Tickets.
It
Oh, that's
works.
funny. Oh, and it could be kind of a running gag too. The guy could come up with a. He's always got some kind of new little ticket.
That's good. Yeah, just pulls out a little notepad. Yeah. Government's always trying to rip us off. Yeah, even back then.
And like this guy would technically work for Richard,
Fair. Oh, yeah. So
but
yeah,
only
more on the
kind of like
military.
the you kind of I get into this a little bit in the second half of the second book where his family is kind of on the outs.
Yeah.
He hasn't quite been put in charge of anything yet. He's trying to get the support of the people to get the throne back and be a normal king again, and
Mm,
so there's some political intrigue there.
yeah. Richard's always a fun character. For anyone who hasn't read Song of Bones yet, yeah, there's some fun stuff there. I love it.
Oh yeah, so Richard is he's the right kind of Weasley personality.
Yep.
It's fun to watch.
Yep. Yeah. In The Father of Shadow and Death, that was a fun part too, because again, like just with Braddock's character,
Hmm.
like that mix of grandiosity and insecurity and brokenness all wrapped in one. So he's in a role, but it's very ceremonial, where he's supposed to be a mediator and he's supposed to be
Hmm.
you know uh representing his people and also sorting out their internal disputes,
Yeah.
but he's also living within this larger imperial context. So there's also the law there. He has to filter all that through the prefecture and through the guards and the police that they do have, who actually uphold the law. So he's kind of trying to present himself as a law, you know, uh,
Yeah.
an enforcer, but he has no authority like they
It
do.
it really felt like that they were just handing him a bone.
Yeah. Oh, and that's
With it,
exactly it.
there's this mystery, and I don't take this serious. Like they're like, sure,
Yeah.
have a mystery adventure. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
He's like a
And he's like, oh yeah,
self-appointed
they've
detective.
let me do the.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit sad. It's a little
Yeah.
bit sad. He's so excited about it.
Yeah. He's meant to be a bit of a sad character, which was fun. I don't know. I've been told, yeah, I'm very mean to my main character in this one, which was
I saw one of the reviews for it on Goodreads. I think Overbooked's review. It
mm,
was like it was along the lines of no matter what you think, you can't save him.
mm,
Was his whole review.
there's just one line. Yeah, yeah, that was definitely Josh, already overbooked. Yeah, he's great. I love his one-line reviews. Just pick out something perfect from the book, put it in a
Yeah,
review, you're done. And I'm like, yep, he nailed it. That's the heart of the story right there. It's just good luck,
just
pal.
keep it simple.
Yep.
I enjoyed the book. It had this in it. The end.
Yeah. That does it for me. Yeah, same with arcs. I always get not nervous, but I can always pull out a few things. But I never. I feel like sometimes I disappoint people by not leaving more. But I like, if I like the book, I'm honest about it, and I'll say why, and also,
Yeah.
I don't.
I kind of I
Yeah.
kind of really when I send my stuff to people for people to read early, when people are like saying, "Oh, it's really good. I really like it." That makes me a little bit nervous. They 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 didn't say you didn't notice any problems because I when I
Mm,
send it off, I'm editing it the night before. I'm like, oh, this is and then I'm like, I'll just let them say whatever they say, and if they point out the problems, like, yeah, I know that's there, and but I mean, that's like, oh, I loved it. So I don't know, am I being too hard on myself, or are they
mm.
not being hard enough on me, or
I
I
think we
don't
all.
know.
Well, okay, no, I shouldn't say that. Not all authors are sufficiently hard on themselves. I think people like you and I, we yeah wring our hands a little to the last second,
There were
which
pages and there were words and they were good. 5 out of 5.
yeah, like what I'll do is, it depends what I'm doing these days. I shy away from beta reading just because it's so close to editing work, and
Hmm.
by the time I get around to beta reading, I've already been doing a bunch of editing work paid. It just feels exhausting, and it just feels like
Yeah.
an extension of my day job,
It
so
also
that's tough.
it stresses me out too. If someone sends me something and they want advice back, I'm like, I don't, because I can be incredibly harsh
Mm,
because that's how I view my own stuff.
yeah.
So I mean, I don't want to lie and say, "Oh, I loved everything about it." I don't want to like be like really, really mean or come off as mean and say this problem, that problem.
Yeah.
So I try to avoid the situation as much as possible if someone wants me to read something, unless they're like they know. Listen, I'm probably gonna have some things to say.
Yeah. I'm curious. Okay, have you ever had this? Excuse me. Funny enough, like next semester, like January to late February, it's only a half semester series of courses because the program has their internships in the second half of the semester. But I'm teaching the same course twice next semester at the college, and
Ooh,
it's the creative writing workshop course for the program. So it's like half business and marketing writing, half creative writing, and I get to teach the creative writing workshop, which is like the dream course to teach. I think
yeah,
I really only lecture once. And beyond that, I'm leading them through essentially a critique group in class. And they have to hand in 2 or 3 assignments, I think, that I grade, based on how well they've incorporated feedback. And so whatever they handed in initially, by the time they do their third and fourth assignments, it has to have vastly improved on many different metrics. But it's a lot of fun. I did the course when I did the program 3 years ago. 2, 3 years? Yeah, 3 years ago now, which is wild. Super fun. Very good experience. Like that's the dream for school. Anyways,
yeah,
what I wanna ask them, or what I'm gonna say to them is describing what I'm about to ask you. So have you ever had the experience? It's something to watch out for, and I'm gonna ask them to be careful and limit themselves to 1 or 2 things when it comes to the negative critiques. Here's why. I find, so I'm curious if you've had this experience. I mean, I'm usually I don't want to say I beat around the bush, but I'm usually careful about negativity, right? And including critiques. I'll focus on what I think someone needs to hear, but I'll usually cushion it. But I don't know what it is about being an author. When I give someone negative feedback, especially in like a DM, if someone says, if I've beta read for someone, for example, and they say, oh, they DM me and they say, what did you think about this? I'll say, okay, so here's maybe an issue to watch out for. And then I call this the negativity cascade, where the moment I've said that first negative thing, now my brain suddenly thinks of another thing, and I type it out, and I'm like, oh, and this isn't as important, but also this. And my brain immediately says, oh, and there was also this thing, which really isn't important, but maybe they need to hear it. So then I type that. And then about 3 or 4 things later, I'm like, oh, so first of all, these all descend in quality as feedback. You probably only needed to hear the first two.
yeah.
And also I can't stop. So what the hell is wrong with me? Like I feel bad for this person. Is it just me? Because I've seen other people do this to me, and I've had to actually say, like, I'm just give me a breather. It's thank you so much. This is all very helpful, but also, whew, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah. You kind of get in that mode.
Yeah,
I remember I was it was in some Discord group. They were sharing chapters, and like, sure, I'll edit a chapter because they just edited my chapter, so I got to jump in and help some people with their chapters.
yeah.
I jumped into one person's story that had a really fun setting, a really fun idea, and then halfway through, a character is out of commission, needs to be
Mm,
protected, can't protect himself. So the main character puts him in a cave, and it says the book said it looks to be at one point it was a home to a bear, this cave,
okay.
and puts him in. So then I made a note like, when's this bear coming back? And as they were going on, they were I kept making comments like, okay, what about the bear? What about I couldn't
Yeah.
think of anything else because the guy's in the bear cave and he can't move. Then finally they got back and he was fine. And I was like, well, you should have had the bear, come back or something. I was waiting for a bear. And I was making all these comments about the bear, but I'm like, all right, I've mentioned the bear a few many times.
Yeah. That's hard too. Okay, that's a whole other, like, especially when it's in document feedback, that presents a whole other level of challenge. Only once I can say this. I think this is true. Only once while editing for someone have, like, it's because most, if you don't know, you don't know, so you'll keep making the same mistake throughout a manuscript, right? and that starts to stack up when you're reading it as the editor. So I've seen other editors, it can get very tempting. My favorite is when you just copy and paste feedback. So every time someone makes the mistake, you just copy and paste the same line. I try not to do that. I'll quickly mark it, but so that you know what it is. But I'll use like a shorthand that I've already said. This is what this means. So whenever you see this,
Yeah.
that's what it's pointing out. Uh, yeah, but sometimes, only once have I really been like, "No, no, 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 no," and then they do it again later, and you're like, "No, absolutely not. No, and here's why, and I set it up there, but now it's even worse." And it just stacks, so it gets worse and worse, and by the end, you're losing your temper as an editor. And then I look
Yeah.
back at the comments, and I'm like, "I am so sorry. Like, it's okay. It just needs some quick fixing. Like,
Yeah,
this is just
especially
me."
if you keep noticing the same problem. It's
Yeah,
like you've made a note about it, and it comes back again, and your mind like, "I just mentioned that.
yeah.
Why didn't this thing learn?" And you get a little bit angry the more you see it. Is
That's
it?
exactly it, and they can't see until they
Yeah,
read it
yeah,
all
yeah,
in
yeah.
one shot, and all they
Mhm.
see is you having a temper tantrum in their comments. Like, don't do that.
Yeah,
It's a hard temptation to resist as an
yeah.
author and or as
And
an
then, that
editor.
kinda ties into what Trinity here is saying.
Yeah.
Assess the level of feedback they actually want. Sometimes people just
Mhm.
wanna know, is the vibe good?
Yeah.
Is this a fun idea? They don't need to know, your grammar's not very good here, you forgot the comma here, and sometimes they just want a vibe check.
Yeah. Yeah. Which I'm not always the best at assessing because other times I've under assessed and someone will be like, like I've had someone say, oh hey, I wrote this thing that seems similar to something you've written. I was just wondering if it seems okay. That was the initial comment. I read
Mm,
it, I say, oh yeah, it seems great, here's why, I like this, I like this, I like this. And then they message back and they're like, that's all, like you're not going to give me more feedback, like I was expecting way more. I'm like, what? Like, I'm doing my best here, so it's very hard to gauge between
yeah.
authors what people are asking for. Yeah.
So then, from the opposite side of it, people critiquing us, the dilemma of how much of the critique you actually take on. So one thing I like to say, and I think it was a chat with Bill Hader, who plays Flint Lockwood in Cloudy with the Chance of Meatballs, and
Okay. Yeah.
that assassin in Barry. He was given some interview. They were talking about writing, and he was saying, and I think this is true. When someone has a critique, the critique is almost always correct. There is
Yeah.
something wrong. Then he said, the suggestion they make to fix it is almost always wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. I
So
like that point.
what he suggested, take the critiques as okay, something doesn't smell right, something didn't taste like.
Yeah.
And then you can check out their ideas for how to fix it, but don't take those as seriously.
Yeah.
Just say, okay, that's interesting. I'll think about that. But then, because you know the full scope of your story better than anybody else, you'll be able to fix problems a lot better, hopefully. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Fingers
So
crossed
that's
as you learn.
that's kind of how I take it. If someone has, I mean, if it's like a stylistic thing, like I didn't like how mean this character was, to this person this time.
Yeah.
At some point, you kind of want to have, because I find myself when I'm reading a story and someone's mean to somebody else, and I go, "Oh no, I would say this or I would say that," and that's me getting into the story.
Yeah.
And then I would think like, "Oh, how could have this situation have been handled better to everyone gets a happy ending?" And that's you getting into the story. But when I'm actually writing, I'm constantly making those problems for my characters. It's like I'm a different person. I'm writing a different person. I'm reading.
Yeah.
So, but what was I even talking about? Where was I going? Dilemma.
I think
Uh,
just how we handle feedback and finding the nugget of gold in even bad feedback. And
mhm.
you slowly, it's not always a quick process, but you slowly learn to put yourself in more constructive environments. When I say constructive though, I don't necessarily mean harsher. Uh
Yeah.
Effective. Effective is more important because I have like not yeah, I have to be careful how I word this, but I think in my early days as an author, I had more than one weird experience and some things that I learned from and some things that I stepped back from, but I've had at least one or two experiences where I genuinely thought I was being punked. because the feedback was collectively so bad. And I don't mean
Hmm.
bad as in like, oh, you sucked him as an author, you need to fix this and this. I mean like nothing they said was right. Now, in the sense that you're saying, I looked for the nuggets, I made some tweaks to avoid people making similar comments. So like I
Yeah.
tried to draw out the good, but just because I can draw out the good, if it takes me 20 hours to do that for a single chapter, and then I get feedback from someone else, and all their feedback hits the same things, but in a way that's crystal clear and makes it easier for me to implement, I'm going to slowly gravitate towards, uh, critique partner B. So you slowly
Yeah.
find
I
a
kind
network
of
of
want to
people you can
mix.
trust.
I kind of want to mix because I want to hear the insane take.
Yeah, I don't have that kind of time. Those will come out in
I
reviews
mean, I mean,
anyway.
I not internalize it.
Yeah,
That's like that's a completely different perspective from what I'm thinking or what other people are thinking. Like, I don't mind reading the insane take
yeah.
because that's a completely different way to look at what I've done.
My point is, like, if I
Yeah.
had beta readers, right, that would be fine for 1 out of 10.
Yes, 1 out of 10.
Yeah,
Yes.
I would not want 5 out of 10 to be like that. That would drive me up a freaking wall, things like that. That's my point. So you slowly you like, I have 1 or 2 people who I go to because I know they'll, like, hate almost everything I write, and they give some really good feedback. Or they also give me insight into how people who likely won't like my book will respond to it. So and which is valuable even if I'm not marketing to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trinity, can you pass out some of these readers? Can you tell me where they live? Give me their addresses. I'll send them my books and stuff. Maybe baskets of fruit.
Yeah. Yeah, so variety is key for sure. But yeah,
You
the
want so the group you want to end up. So there are two nightmare groups. You have the pat on the back. Oh, you're wonderful.
yeah,
Oh,
you don't want that.
you don't want that.
Yeah,
And then you have the other one like, you stupid, dirty writer. You want one of those. You want just one of
yeah,
those. But you kind of want you want people who like your stuff and people who don't necessarily like your stuff, but are honest and kind.
yeah,
So you need the right motivation from the critique partner or
yeah. That too.
subject.
That motive helps, and that's hard to find too because let's be honest, I think even on a subconscious level, authors can be very competitive, and sometimes it comes out in critique groups. It's a way to it's not just competition, but sometimes even jealousy.
Yeah.
I've seen some
I
weird
think that's I'm sure that is there. I think it's more common because I think us storytellers and creative people are pretty arrogant.
Mm.
We definitely like to hear ourselves talk. We definitely think that we know something. So
Yeah,
sometimes, if I got to be careful because I'll do this. I'll start going into a critique mode, like, well, I would do this.
yeah,
Well, I would do it this way,
yeah.
and
That's
I
exactly
know
it.
this. So I mean, you gotta like you can't make it about yourself. You gotta put yourself in that other person's head as much as you can and disappear in your critique. Your critique, if put out anonymously, should be untraceable.
Yeah, yeah. I Yeah, that's very fair. You'll get very, very contradictory feedback. I tested the waters with one group. I mean, I've been in a few, tested the water. This one though, in particular, I remember I tested the waters with and immediately ran away because even before they saw my writing, I watched how they treated each other. I was blown away, just blown away. Uh, like,
They're like
yeah, they
explosive.
No, not necessarily explosive, but a lot of what you were just talking about, a lot of the "I would do it this way," and, "Oh, you
Yeah,
really need to hone," but it was also just I like, yes, quality is subjective, and we in writing, it's so subjective, but I think this is fair to say, some of the pieces that they not just took to town, but I watched it happen. I watched them convince the author to not query a certain piece or to not put a certain thing out there or to work another year or at least months on something that I'm sorry I read and was better than anything else anyone else in the group was doing by a long shot. Like on a I'm objectively, it
yeah.
was so I'm sitting there thinking, I actually think this group is doing damage to like one or two of the authors in that group. I thought, poor you, because they're going to be stuck there for I don't know how long before they realize, like, no, you're ready. Like at least to get beyond that setting because these people were just holding them back. It was, I think I don't know. This is just part of being human. Is groupthink is everywhere.
Hmm.
So this to me is why, yeah, like run away. Please run away from a context like that. It was so bad. And my thought is, to me, that was groupthink at its absolute worst. Like if you've ever been on committees, I've been on a few volunteer committees running ministries or different events, and sometimes it's really comical to see the level of dumbness, like the level of abject stupidity that a group of people can come up with, and then you take one or two of those people aside later, and you're like, "Wait, really?" And in any other context, the person would have said, "Oh yeah, that's crazy." But in the context of a group, people behave so differently, you know. So
Yeah.
that's one of the dangers I think with critique groups is if you don't, I don't know, I don't always know how to mediate that. I should be thinking about it because I'm literally teaching it next semester. It's a
Yeah,
genuine
that
question. How do you moderate out groupthink in a context like that?
so part of your curriculum is you have part creative writing and then part critical communication.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. That's very much factored into the course. And the first one or two lectures is all giving feedback on how to do that constructively and effectively. They give both written and oral feedback, so they
Yeah.
leave feedback in like a an assignment folder slash blog, sort of on Brightspace, and then they also give feedback in a circle during their classes. It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah, good idea fairies are I keep them away with a special bug zapper called Apple Notes. I, I make a note like, okay, and I never forget about it. And then every couple, I don't know, every 6 months or so, I go through them. I go, oh, I remember that. And
Mm.
either I like that can stay. I make a few more notes about it. Or I'm like, oh, that's stupid, and I leave it alone. Um, but yes, if you're constantly thinking through um, crazy ideas, I mean, it's easy to get lost in the weeds.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Be positive,
Yeah.
according to Trinity.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think the way
you
we
need the
did it when I
positivity.
took.
Yeah,
Sorry?
you need the positivity.
Oh, yeah.
Even in the negativity, you need the positive negativity, I guess.
How you frame it can be, that's the thing too, is some people, I think, maybe make a virtue out of harshness, and sometimes that's what someone needs to hear for it to actually crack through, so
Yeah, and
there's a
you
place
need
for
to
it
be a good judge of the character too. Like,
of who you're talking to.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
some people are more fragile. You gotta be careful. You don't want to hurt them. And some people are a little bit more hard headed and gruff.
Yeah. So
And
you
those
gauge who
people,
you're talking to, for
you need to
sure.
speak their language. You need to learn
Yeah.
their language and then speak their language. You can't just assume you know how someone thinks.
Yeah. So in a general context, like a classroom, I think the way we did it and what I'll probably hold to as well is I think we always do like a circle of the positives and then another round where you
Hmm.
everyone says like one thing that maybe could have been tweaked, and they have instruction in advance of the limits on that, so it never
Yeah.
goes too far, never gets too
So
harsh.
what what KW just said? It's always what about this? Let's do this instead. And you end up in an endless circle. I would say no pitching. If
Mm,
you're in a group, you're doing critiques. No pitching. Critique only.
that's good. Yeah,
If you do have a pitch, you just can't get off your chest. You just say it. Keep it as short as possible because
yeah,
this ain't your book. This is someone else's book. This is someone
yeah.
else's story. Sure, maybe he inspired you to think of something amazing. Steal it, write it down for yourself. But yeah, it's not a pitching session.
Yeah.
And going around saying something positive first, that would drive me absolutely insane. I don't want I get uncomfortable if someone says, "I really like this about the book." I'm like, "Oh, yeah." I don't really know what to say to that. If someone says, "This right here, I didn't really get what you're doing there," then I can kind of engage. So, but that's just my personality. Other
Yeah.
personalities, they need a little pat on the back, especially when they're first starting out.
It's good practice too, because on the other side, when you do put a work out there, it is good to know how to respond to praise, and sometimes that's hard. Actually, sometimes that's harder than negativity. Sometimes someone critiques it, and I immediately say, "Oh yeah, fair enough. Yeah, that's something I'm working on. Okay, yeah, I get that. Oh, I can see why that didn't hit you the right way. Okay, yeah, interesting." And then someone says, "I loved it. This was the best thing," and I'm like, "Are you sure?" That's not the right way to
The
respond.
best. Have you
You're trying to
read The
sell books
Princess Bride?
publicly, yeah. Maybe not the best marketing technique to second guess yourself, at every turn.
Yeah, I mean, because I'll do that constantly.
Yeah.
Um, I know what I've written is good, but I don't want to come out and say what I've written is pretty good, y'all. I mean, and I don't want to, because there are stuff that are better than what I'm doing, things
Mm,
that inspired me that like I want to get to that level, and I like to talk about those things. And sometimes that can make it sound like I'm kind of bashing what I've done, and in some ways I am, because I'm still not at the potential that I want to be, and I don't think
yeah.
I'll get there in my like 70s. I think by then I'm serious. I think I'm going to be pretty darn good.
Yeah, no,
At
and
least I
that's the
hope
point is
so.
we have to acknowledge where we are today. You know? And this was funny. This is the toughest question for me to answer, and it should be the easiest. It should be the question that every author knows how to answer about their books, is regardless of where you stand in terms of like compared to your literary idols, even if you're not there yet,
Hmm.
and compared to all the books on the same level as yours as well. What makes yours stand out? What makes it unique? What makes it something that's like what's the pitch for it that would make someone buy it over something else, regardless? And that's I again I should be able to answer. I can tell you unique things about my stories that I think are
Hmm.
uniquely creative. I can tell you about the background of my own life that has made me into the author I am. Like, but still, it's a hard question to answer
Yeah. Well,
because
I can definitely tell you what I'm trying to do with my stuff. Anton, I'm sorry you have to leave. Oh, you can just pretend you're here still.
do that.
Make
See
sure
ya,
your
Con.
Bluetooth headphones are charged. That's important. And yeah, spiffing Brit emoji. I'm sure that's a real emoji, and the chat has changed it to just to say spiffing Brit emoji. What was I saying? I was saying something. Oh, okay. So I know what I'm trying to do with my stuff. I'm
Mm,
trying to. Song of Bones is not Lord of the Rings.
mm,
It is not Princess Bride. It is not Chronicles of Prydain. It is um, a mystery, but a world building mystery where the how the world works, what the politics are, and who the characters are, and the reality of their situation is a mystery that the book doesn't tell you this is a mystery.
mm,
It's a character drama where the mystery is the world building.
mm,
That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to do it in a way that is easy to read, doesn't overstay its welcome, and surprises you.
mm,
That's what I'm trying to do with Song of Bones. For Garden Maze stuff, I'm trying to hit classic fairy tale in
mm.
ways you haven't seen before that doesn't
Yeah,
subverts expectations, but at the same time exceeds expectations.
fair.
So I don't want someone to pick it like, oh, they went in a different direction. It wasn't very good. I'm like, whoa, they went a different direction, and I've never seen that before. That was very unique and fun.
Mm,
So I know what I'm trying. Those are the pitches I have. No, I didn't say anything about the story or the characters or anything. That's just I don't know. I'm much more of a um what do you call it? Like what kind of writer what do you call that? I'm not pitching my story or my characters. I'm pitching the way
mm.
I'm writing.
Yeah, fair.
I don't know if that sounds fun to people.
No, well, okay, it reminds me of going on. We've both been on Mirthquake. Yeah, I'll get to this in a second.
Trinity's like,
Absolutely.
okay, guys, that's very fun, very fun. Let's get on to some real book talk now.
Well, we've both been on Mirthquake, and I don't know. Did you see that was I think one of the first shows I did in this month of talking about the Father
I
of
think I
Shadows.
caught the beginning of it.
Yeah. So did you see the new intro song?
No,
Oh,
there's a new
so
intro
funny.
song.
Yeah, yeah, he's made a new intro song, and it's, like, terrible and funny and terrible. I'll say terrible, like, 5 times just to it's bad. It's snarky. But one of the best parts is he says, "No one cares about your effing world, magic system." That's what it is.
Hmm.
And he has that on T-shirts too, and I love that, but he put that in the song now, it just makes it funnier.
I
And
I do get what he's saying, but at the same time, the only people who do care about it are your fans.
that's
But
fa yeah, so
they won't care about it until they actually taste it in the wild, though.
yeah,
You can't
that's the
really
thing.
pitch it.
I think that, no one cares about it in the context of an interview like this. No one cares, like, as an author too, that's the thing, and having done signings before, like, my least favorite thing is when someone starts asking you to talk about the world building of the book. I'm like, "It's much better in the book than I can say out loud now," because it sounds if I'm like, "Oh, well, Braddock Dizane is the, second Vindicar of this nation called Saramai, and they're living in exile in the capital of the Namrith Empire," and you're already falling asleep, right? Like, who cares? Like, show me the horror, show me, like, the visceral grisly murders that trigger the story and get into the you want to feel it. You want to feel the vibe and the terror and the sadness and the brokenness, and that's something you really only get through the actual power of narrative and action. Very hard to translate that into description and summary is very hard to
Mhm.
do. Yeah. Okay, so Trinity. Let's answer Trinity's question.
Yeah, Tim, you have a lot of really cool things in the pipe.
Yeah, that's the thing I'm booked out for writing for at least another year and a half, but
Booked
for
out,
more
yeah.
than that, yeah.
Good pun.
Yeah. So like, I did The Father of Shadow and Death. I want to do a sequel to that. It's gonna be another fantasy horror. I know exactly where it's gonna be set. I know the fun I wanna have.
Your the pitch you shared of that with me was very good.
Yeah,
I'm
so
very interested to see that.
yeah, so I mean, I've talked about that in passing on other chats, so I can say it's dragon horror. Uh, and so you get to see Braddock again. It's going to be at the arrival or the resurgence of dragons to the continent, and it still counts as a prequel to the fall of Selvandrea. So it's set between the two stories. That's going to be a lot of fun. Very excited for that. So very small scale, set in a very specific location, and things are going to get fun. Then I also have another fantasy horror set in the same world, and this one branches off the sequel. So what I'm working on right now, Light of Mazara, this is a branch off of that in a setting we haven't been to yet, at the north of there's a tropical northern region of the continent.
Oh, we're
Um,
getting into your ice and snow now, your element.
Well, see, no, see, like I said, it's in the north, but I flip it, so it's tropical. It's like
Mm.
rainforests, and I'm modeling it off of like south of certain regions of South America, for some of it.
But in the north.
Yeah, in the north. So I have fun with that. Um, and yeah, so there we're gonna have lizard people and Jinn, and that's what I'm excited for, like dark wish granting spirits, uh, and those two forces collide in the midst of what's going on in this particular
Mhm.
region. Oh, it's gonna be good. Yeah. So those are still set in this world, and then I'll be done book two, hopefully February-ish, and that'll come out. We'll see. April. I may be doing a Kickstarter for it, so that could push it back a bit. But I'm very excited for that if it happens. Yeah. So the cover is already in the works. That's very exciting. So for those who love, Joe Urqueza's covers, I mean, there's another one coming.
It's
Uh,
coming, y'all.
yeah, I'm so excited. Isaac and I were talking. I won't share what's going to be on it, but we were talking before. Yeah,
I'll
I've
give a hint. There will be colors and
there will be
drawing.
colors. There will be many colors. Yeah.
You mentioned magic and genies. Future projects. I outlined a thing
Mm,
a couple months ago that made me very, very excited. So I don't know if you people have read my short story, Whiteout. It's
mm,
free on my website. It's kind of Stranger Things, it kind
yeah.
of related. Kids in a neighborhood against some supernatural thing that they can't really win against, but their pluckiness prevails. So I'm playing with an idea of a wish granting kind of mayhem thing. It's gonna be farther out than Tim's book. So I'll try to make sure there's no similarities in the wish logic with your
Tough
stuff.
to do,
I'm
yeah.
not copying you. I'm not copying you. But I have some pretty I have some pretty exciting things I'm working on.
Yeah. Yeah, there are certain tropes with the wish granting I want to avoid. I just watched Arabian Nights, which I hadn't seen in years, and I just rewatched it a
One
few
thing
nights.
I'll give away
Mm.
about it. So the wish granting thing. He doesn't snap his fingers, he doesn't clap. He's got big hands and he's down in a concrete area. And so whenever a wish is made, he slaps his hand on the ground 3 times
Mm.
and does it with force. And so the main character, when he starts to realize, these wishes aren't turning out the way I want, there's a certain point where a wish is made accidentally
Uh,
without the character knowing that they made a wish. But he, the main character, hears the 3 slaps of the hands downstairs. He's like, oh, it's going to be good.
yeah, excuse me. I think in my case, the focus is definitely on dark bargains and the cost that comes
Hmm.
with these wishes. But then, uh, you know, what happens when your adversary is also in a dark bargain as well? So there's some face off between characters that
2
are,
curses are fighting it out.
yeah. So that's gonna get fun. Some of that you get a hint of in the sequel. So I do introduce some of this in the sequel, and then I'm gonna really give that. I do that as showing the background of one of the characters, and then branching off. I'm going to expand all that in its own book.
Hmm.
I'm already writing that current chapter in the sequel. It's a lot of fun. It's so I'm excited. Yeah, and then after that, book three uh, in the series. It may be the end. I mean, it's there's. I already know how it ends. There is room for more, but it does stand on its own as a satisfying, I think, end to this arc. So a trilogy at the very least, and
The true
then
uh, the true ending for Song of Bones, I'm not sure
hmm,
100% if it leaves room for anything else.
fair, okay,
I kind of switch genre. So the first 3 Song of Bones books I'm releasing is really just the first book
yeah,
of Song of
yeah,
Bones. I've mentioned that a million times.
yeah.
But the way I've outlined the next 2 true sequels, they kind of switch genres
Hmm,
each time. So the true sequel is a little bit more murder mystery.
okay,
Not
yeah,
100%, maybe like 40% murder mystery. And the finale is a little bit more I don't know if I can say. Let's just say a little bit more ecological in scope.
okay, okay, yeah. Yeah, like, it's up in the air for me. When I was first decided like, when I was first plotting out the major arc of this series, I knew in advance. Really, there were 2 or 3 possible endings, but all branching off of the same critical thing that we're building to. And I think which one I'm veering towards really for a while depended on my mood. I'm like, well, I hate the world, so I'm doing this. And oh, the life is great. I'm doing this. Kind of one of those.
Yeah,
I think I'm getting
world building based on mood.
yeah, yeah. So I think I'm at a better place where like, no, I know exactly where this story needs to go. At this point, I'm it's it's slowly solidifying to a more defined conclusion. So that'll be fun. Yeah,
One
and
thing
then oh
one
sorry.
thing I will say is so the next Garden Maze book I have all outlined ready to go. As soon as I'm done with this newest Song of Bones book, I'm jumping into Garden Maze first thing. There are there so I've also started a little comic on the side. I've been
Hmm,
doing all these little drawings. They've been kind of aimless and like, whatever. So I'm going to actually start, deciding, if I'm drawing pictures, might as well draw them in sequence.
yeah.
So there will be some characters in the next song, in the next Guard Maze story in this comic will
Hmm,
make their first appearance here,
that's
and that'll
fun.
be really fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, well, you've read Skyfold, so that's the
Hmm.
the big that's not even I'm already thinking a series after that, but that's very, very early days in my mind. But particularly when I'm working on my audiobooks, for whatever reason, that's when my mind goes wild with ideas more than any other
Oh.
time. So I was finishing up editing the audiobook for The Father of Shadow and Death, and I had ideas coming. And now I'm recording the audio for the Fall of Selvandrea, doing it over again. Very close to done that. Like 2 weeks max before I'm done, and then I just need to edit it.
Dude,
Uh,
you were doing so much. You were so busy. Um, thank
this,
you.
this is quiet for me right now. Right now, I'm bored. The last week has been really boring, which is great. I'm like, oh, this is what normal people feel like,
Yeah.
like it was so bad for a solid 3 months there where I was just nonstop. I was like, yeah, we've talked contest judging on top of editing 2 books on top of audiobook. I think it was done draft. Yeah, at that point it was audiobook work. Um, I had 2 or 3 other things on the go too. It was just not sun up to sundown working on things. I loved it. I love those stretches just to push yourself and learn as much as you can and grow and practice. And then I need a breather. So right now,
Mhm.
this is my breather. I'm just having a good time. It's great. Ask me
This
a
is your
week from now. I
vacation.
already know I have more, like December is going to be already again pretty intense, but yeah, for now. So ask me in a week. I might be back to my grumpy old self.
Well, cool. I think
Yeah.
we kind of we've talked about how has your launch been going? Fun
It's been good.
launch?
Yeah, it's been I think how do I put this? I didn't know what to expect with this one when I went into it because I thought uh this is a new genre, like it's still fantasy, but and it's still the same world, but it is
Yeah.
branching off into a new genre, which is always a risk. And so far, like the reviews have been great. I've had people say this is the best thing I've written yet by a large. That was Timothy Wolf said that the other day, and I trust him because he's read everything I've done.
Yes. I haven't
And
finished it yet, but I can confirm this
there,
is your quality gets better every single book.
yeah, which I mean is the goal, right? It can be tough. It's very hard to do a sequel to something that was the first thing you wrote after you've written 2 more books, and so your quality that's a whole other conversation. How do you make a sequel match in tone while the quality has
Yeah.
markedly improved?
Without losing style.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm very that it's been a fun challenge, but it's what I'm wrestling with right now. But yeah, as far as the launch, uh, all those most of those fears kind of evaporated when pre-orders started coming in. I was like, "Oh, this is the best pre-order launch I've had so far." And since then, it's been steady, but I think better sales than Skyfold, and Skyfold did pretty well. Um, so we're in that weird limbo space where Skyfold blew up when the audiobook came out, and the
Mhm.
audiobook is coming out for The Father of Shadow and Death any day. It's in the final stages of
Oh, you
approval.
finished it. Oh.
It's done and ready. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You've been knocking it out of the park.
That was a while ago. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Keep up. I'm just kidding. But no, it's yeah, I've been busy.
I thought you were
Yeah.
still like editing things, but you got it all ready to go.
Editing took long, like, obviously, it's about 3 times the length of Skyfold, but
Mhm.
it took editing it took longer than it should have taken, compared to other past projects, but just because I had so much on the go, I was fitting the editing in around the edges of everything else, and then about 2 weeks ago, things started to quiet down a bit, and I had more time, so I really dedicated myself to getting through it.
Gotcha.
Um, yeah, yeah. So that's ready. A few people have said, "Oh yeah, they can tell the difference." Like I have new equipment, I have new software. I again same thing. Audiobooks trying to improve the quality every time. Get out of some old bad habits. That's been fun, but I think I'm getting there. Although, yeah. Anyways, that's again, you learn new things as you go. So I still catch certain things where I'm like, ooh, even just pronunciations, we've had laughs about that.
Oh yeah.
And like there were the main ones, and those are all corrected now, including in the new Fall of Selvandrea. But there are little ones that branch off of the same issues where just intuitively I'm like, oh, this is spelled a similar way. Maybe it's pronounced, maybe it's another thing I've been mispronouncing my whole life. I look it up, I'm like, yep, I've had this
Mm,
wrong too. So I've been intuitively catching these things to correct as well.
that's good.
So
You're exercising a new muscle.
yeah, yeah, which is honestly fun. I think initially, it was a hard learning curve, and then once you get into, you're like, language is fun. I'm having fun with this thing that I love doing. So it flipped around to back to it. There was that period where I was like, I never want to do this again. This sucks. And now I'm like, oh, I'm never stopping. This is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Trinity.
Oh,
Oh,
Trinity.
Trinity. Now, the way you said dagger was dagger, which I
Yeah.
think
So
is
that was
a
the big thing. So
marvelous way to say dagger.
I'm
That's
never doing that again. I mean, I do it live because it's a habit, but in audiobooks that never breaks through anymore. Yeah.
in the books in Song of Bones. Whenever Gavin says dagger, he's saying dagger. He's pronouncing it dagger.
Noted. Yeah, so that was the big one, Trinity. Funny enough, um I was
That's how
listening
my
to I
grandma
won't say
says
who
roof.
because I'm not trying to call someone like it's not meant like who I don't care. They clearly don't care. I think I've talked to family and friends. A lot of Canadians say it this way. And I heard another Canadian author, a relatively big one, who was saying it the exact like he was saying all the same words. He was saying dragon as dragon, he was saying dagger as dagger. Uh,
Yeah,
you know,
get that long A.
yeah, literally. In this case, I guess working it into all our words. Yeah. Um, it should be canon, but sorry, no. Like I don't have the bandwidth to deal with people throwing rants into their reviews or into my DMs every other day. Which it was. It was like a daily occurrence of you shouldn't be pronouncing it this way. I'm throwing a fit while I'm listening. Could you please correct this? After a while, that is soul crushing. And then again, a negativity cascade I talked about earlier.
Yeah.
So it never stops with them correcting your pronunciation. It turns into pages and pages from multiple people. Like I'm talking 5, 6, 7 people with endless critiques that started with, you pronounce this word wrong. You know, it would have been great if they stopped there. Some, anyways, that's a whole like soul crushing
Yeah.
period of my life. I'm glad it's over. And that's the
Well,
point though, is now it's flipped around where every time I hit a word that's like bag or tag or rag or drag or dragon or dagger, right? Like now it's like, oh yeah, I got this. I got this. Like it's weird. It now it's just a learning experience. So I catch a new word like the other day, agony. I realized I was saying it agony. I was like, oh, but that's an AG. I wonder.
ooh,
And I
agony, agony, agony.
yeah.
I think
So that was one.
that's how Bugs Bunny says it.
Mm. Yeah,
Well,
Spider-Man 2099?
29.
Don't know what we're
He
talking about, but
disagrees. It's a canon event. You can't change it.
yeah, so it's just been fun. There's been a few other ones that aren't in the AG category where I've it's more if I'm iffy about a word, even remotely, I'll look it up. I'll
Yeah.
pause the track, I'll look it up, and I'll go back. And a few times I've caught myself with things that I probably would have mispronounced if I just went on intuition. Which is like just something for as readers, right? If you encounter a word in a book that you wouldn't use in normal conversation, it's very plausible that there will be many words in the English language you don't know how to pronounce. If you've never heard it out
Yeah.
loud, why would you, right?
It's
So
true.
as an author, you've taken in all these words from all your reading and then you start using them. You know the way to use them properly, but you may not know the way to say them properly. And I'm very cautious about that. So, it's fun. It's a whole other level. It's a whole other learning curve.
Well, speaking of learning curves and editing and
Yeah.
learning and growing and taking risks, I have prepared a game
Oh yeah, we gotta have a game.
just for you. And because you're a teacher, I think you'll do very well with this. So,
Don't test me at the end of the
introducing
day.
this is
Editing
the
masterclass. Oh gosh. Yeah.
editing masterclass. So, these are little paragraphs that I've collected from an account called I Was Poisoned.
Hmm.
So these are people who are have been poisoned and are quickly writing down what they ate, where they were, and how they feel. So I want you to critique their grammar and their punctuation and their writing style, but also keep in mind these people are almost dying as they're writing these little things,
Okay.
as they're making
Okay.
questionable decisions. So I find these all very, very funny. Trinity has a final word.
Yeah, see, this is interesting because that's one I wrestle with too, is then uh yeah, like beg, bag, and beg. Like,
That's how my brother-in-law, he's from Canada, he says "beg."
mm,
"Oh, you taking a beg? You guys
okay,
taking a
that's
beg?"
interesting. Yeah. Like more of a where's he from in Canada?
Saskatchewan. No.
Okay.
No, 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 he's from Regina.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so mid yeah, like that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, Central Canada has its own pronunciations. The Ottawa Valley, where I am, has its own. You got Newfies in Newfoundland.
Those Newfies.
Maritimes, there's a whole range of pronunciations there. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. We've got accents.
Okay, here's the
Let's do
first
this.
one. A double jack that looked like it was sitting in a pan of water. The fries were inedible, overcooked, tasting like bad grease. My wife threw all of hers away. I ate my hamburger. Meat did not taste fresh. Stomach cramping and diarrhea. This was from the Jack in the Box on
This
2nd Street in San Rafael.
copy pasted or you made some light tweaks to make it into a
No, this is exactly how it was written, down to
that's
the
rough.
punctuation.
That's rough. Yeah. Oh, that hurts my soul. Oh, that hurts my soul. That's the thing is again, I'm very patient when it's for an author that I'm editing for, but then when I come across it in just everyday life, casual reading, um, it can hurt. Like I try not to let it impact. It depends. I have downrated some books that I've read because the quality was just too jarring. I've DNF'd a few times when it's really bad. Um, yeah, it depends. It depends. Sometimes you can get away with things here and there, but when it's a continuous pattern in a story that distracts from the story, some people tell me I'm crazy for letting it impact. I don't know. I can't unsee it. Yeah. Okay. So this one, a double jack that look like that's oh, I can forgive. It's social media, right? That was the context, so I can forgive the absence of a capital letter.
Okay, I'm
Um,
back.
You're back. Were you like logged off or
I don't know. I blinked out of existence and it said, everything's broken, man. I don't know what to do. So I left, I came back, left, I came back, and I finally let me in. So I'm back. So you're basically saying this is poetry.
this is see, I thought you were just giving me the stage. I'm like, okay, now I get to teach an editing masterclass, and I'm like, I don't want to do that, but okay.
Now, my favorite sentence in this is I ate my hamburger. It's such a powerful sentence in the middle of this.
Powerful, punchy, concise. There's no fluff. Yeah, like that's what we should do for all of these. I assume they're all multiple sentences like this.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll pick our favorite and our least. I like that. So that's
Okay.
definitely I agree. Definitely my favorite. Um, that
Uh,
first one though. That's wow. A
my
double
favorite
jack.
mistake is the inedible.
I think meat instead of meat. I like with a two e's instead of
Well,
ea. That
keep
was
in mind, this man is like suffering as he's quickly writing down what happened to him. And why did he keep eating? Why did he keep eating the hamburger? I mean, we're gonna be asking that question a lot as we go into these, but
yeah. We always have to give the autocorrect credit too. You're right. Could
yes, that's
some of
true.
this could be autocorrect,
Some of
but a double jack the look like probably not.
double check the look like it was. Oh my goodness.
That's
Okay.
rough.
So here's the next one.
Yeah.
This will be the fourth crab du jour I've gone to with my family and friends, and I've gotten sick. I don't think they clean the seafood, nor they are reuse the sauce. I had shrimp head off and crab legs and one potato. I got full quickly as it tasted funny. Not sure if someone put something in our food. Nausea, diarrhea, vomiting.
Did he write the review in the aftermath? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, okay, so you know what? This one, like, I can in a public context, social media, or where this is at least
I could follow his story a little bit better.
yeah, I'm not worried as much about the other guy. Maybe he was really on the brink. If he's writing that badly, it could mean the poison, like serious. This guy food poisoning, but not as serious. He'll be fine by tomorrow. That's what I would say. I would say
Yeah.
this
I'm
most of this is forgivable. It's
I'm
terrible, but
I'm really curious why if he's gotten sick so many times at this restaurant, why did he keep going back to the restaurant?
I mean, I'm
It
trying to
must
think
be
of a
some pretty
food
good
that I would
crab.
suffer through because it's that good, you know?
He says, I got full quickly as it tasted funny. So the funniness of the taste fills him up a little bit faster, I'm imagining.
Yeah, that seems to be the I got full quickly as it tasted funny. Or is it a continuous action? Is it, you know,
Oh,
right?
you're saying he made mistakes? I was taking this as gospel.
Yeah, well, no, no, no. So I got full quickly. Is it, does as there mean
Oh, as
because?
it began to taste funny, he was getting full.
Yeah, exactly. Or it tasted
Okay.
funny throughout the time during which he was getting full. Like that's the thing. As is a tricky one.
It is very tricky. You're right.
Actually, yeah, don't get me started on as. I was going through something I wrote a while back, and one of the things I edited out was just continuous action as addiction. Uh, I always have to have an eye out for that one. It's so easy to fall into as a trap. Just and then I was editing for someone else recently, and they did it not too much, but when they did it, it stood out. It was like 3 sentences in a row with "I did this as I did this, and as I did that, I did this, and as I did this, I did that." And at some point you're like, "How is this person doing 30 things at the same time?" You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You must be moving pretty fast. I think KW may be on something. Some of these might be speech to text, which I guess, I mean, I don't
That's
know
fair too.
how
Yeah.
speech to text, maybe these are older people who use that a lot, but
Yeah.
if I'm in this much pain, I'm not trying to figure out how to do speech to text.
That's fair.
Okay, so the speech to text. So normally I wouldn't think anything about, but today's different. My food was incredibly not normal. This is the third time I have puked after eating it. This is spread out past couple of months. I added extra cheese sauce. Cheese cuz it was actually supposed to have extra cheese and sauce, so I don't mind that. Emo's Pizza, Edwardsville, Louisiana. So
That's
this
cool.
person's obviously in a lot of pain. He didn't even
This
put his symptoms. He's probably just dying.
this is peak. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh,
This
he's
is
puked. This is
this
the third
is
time he's puked after
this
eating
is
it.
emergency. No, no, this is definitely emergency room. Get help now. Okay, L Lions, if you're still in the chat, I'm going to point out that terrible two dot ellipses right there, and flush against the letters. Oh, yeah. If anyone here who likes editing even a bit, follow EL Lions and then look for her recent post on ellipses.
Mm,
Cattail all the way. I want 3 dots with a space after, please.
yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, anything else just
I
drives me
keep
nuts.
on when I do that in my program, it always tries to bring it back. It always
Really, so
tells me
make it
that's wrong.
flush on. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Yeah, yeah. Oh, it's so bad. It's so that hurts me right there. Yeah. Okay, that's really bad though. If it auto corrects it to flush against.
Yeah,
Um,
it always tells me that I'm doing something wrong.
oh, yeah, like, the only time I've encountered that is, I wanna say with, it's not AP style, APA? I wanna say APA Academic has that as a standard, and even then, only in specific contexts, and I hate it, hate it, hate it. And then you meet some people who clearly went to university and took programs that required APA, and they never lose the habit. And so I'll see that in fiction. I'll see that in fiction authors writing where they have it, both words flesh against the ellipses. And I immediately know, I can tell you not only that they went to university, but I can predict the department within which they studied. Not necessarily the program, but I can tell you it was an APA program. Yeah, it's only two
So I
dots. It's not a
so I
full.
think everyone is just drawn to that ellipsis at the beginning.
Yeah.
But I think my favorite part is at the very, very end where he says, he it was supposed to have extra cheese. He actually didn't mind the fact that it had extra cheese. But he says, "So don't
uh,
mind that.
don't mind that. Yeah.
Don't mind that."
Yeah. Oh, that's so
But again,
today is
this is spread out the past couple of months, so he keeps making the same mistake.
having the
Oh
same
man.
experience. Yeah, like, at some point I've been stubborn. I have. If
Mhm.
I start ordering from somewhere, it's really good, really good, really good, really good. And then one time it's really bad. You're like, okay, well, I'll give them another chance. And you order it again. And the next
Yeah.
time it's really bad. And you're like, okay, but I did that. Maybe it was too close. Maybe, and then you give them a third chance. And at some point you have to realize they have a new cook or they changed the
Yeah.
recipe or something. It is time to move on.
Something
It's a
went
sad
wrong.
experience, but we've all been there.
Okay. Here's the final one, I think.
Uh,
Went to, this one I forgot.
Blossom Music.
Went to the Blossom Music Center concert with family with cheese and pate. We all ate the same things, except I'm the only one who ate the pork and chicken liver mousse. It was also half the price of the others, but I don't know why. 2 hours later, I began having bloating, nausea, chills, and for lack of a better term, a feeling of impending doom. Shortly afterwards, I started vomiting through the night and developed substantial diarrhea. In addition to the vomiting at about 5 a.m. So this is a review of pork and liver mousse from Whole Foods Market in Akron, Ohio.
Oh my gosh.
So this is probably the finest written one, but this
I was gonna
this
say
is,
top marks in the class right here.
oh my goodness.
Wow.
It's
I'm
so
sorry, but for lack of a better term, a feeling of impending, like that's to me that's the peak right there. That is amazing. Wow. Wow. I'm like let's temporarily, I guess, overlook the fact that you went to a concert. Like, am I reading that they went to a concert with cheese and pat? Like, what kind of concert are you
we
listening to?
went to the Blossom Music Center concert with family with cheese and pate. So I'm thinking they went to the concert and they took cheese and pate with them.
Yeah, oh
So
yeah, that's what
I
I'm
think
reading
they
as well.
stopped at Whole Foods before going to the concert.
Yeah, that's what I'm reading too. Yeah. So like okay, so it's at a music center, Blossom Music. I'm
So
assuming
it's fancier, higher class. I think
exactly.
violins are involved.
Yeah, we have a place called the Schenkman Center here, and half of my family are very musical and very aspiring to class is what I'll call it. I say that with love mostly, but sometimes they'll go to things like that and try to muck about with the fancies and make a total,
Yeah.
crap show of it, which is very funny to watch when you're not
This
being
is almost
embarrassed.
your character from
Yeah,
Father and Shadow of Death.
maybe inspired by observation. so so I'm picturing that actually this is something they would do. They would go to an event like that without it would be to avoid eating the things there for one reason or
And
another,
look, he even
especially if you have to
skimped. So
pay.
this is the cheapest thing they could get. The
Yeah,
cheapest fancy thing they could get at Whole
exactly.
Foods.
That's what it is. I wonder if they had to see like that doesn't then cheeses and pate, like how big is their family? Because that's
I
not
don't know.
normally that sounds like something you would bring if you were catering for other people too. Is it like a did you only
I'm picturing the mom, dad, and maybe two kids, maybe a daughter and boyfriend.
fair?
Four of
Okay,
them are
yeah.
going. The mom's like, "This is a fancy thing. We gotta get some. Let's get some cheeses. Let's get some pate." And then
Can
they
you
go
imagine
and
being the person sitting next to them and like they probably
they're,
got
they're,
some
they're,
crappy
they
like
bring she gives
goat.
her her purse and you hear plastic crinkle like, "What you want? Which one's yours? Here's your pate." And they're passing her. And they got crackers, and they got the crackers, and they're spreading
They
the
pull out like a
cheese, and they're listening
little
to Mozart as they're eating their pate in their little
yeah,
seats. And
yeah, little like like a rubber or not like a plastic butter knife, and they're slicing the pate and putting it
yeah,
on crackers with cheese and yeah. Oh my gosh, the neighbors are, shifting away because it's probably smelly goat cheese.
imagine the smell of the pork and chicken liver
Yeah,
mousse.
yeah. It depends on the type of cheeses they brought too. So,
Oh
I'm
yeah,
picturing like really bad, strong smelling
I'm.
goat cheese and then liver mousse.
I want to say maybe this is a Colby Jack family. I don't think if they're getting the half off pork and chicken liver. Well, maybe that was their attempt at fanciness. They didn't want to buy anything too fancy, too expensive. Oh, this is the cheapest fancy thing that I can see.
KW right now. This is pure gold. Uh,
Pardon, ma'am. My pork and chicken liver mousse paired with cheese and Chianti has erupted in an expulsion of both end and summoned Cthulhu in my tradesman's entrance.
That's so good. These
East Coast doesn't claim them. This feels like Oklahoma. This feels
That's funny.
this feels like the Midwest,
I
definitely.
like pate is good, But who the hell would bring that to a like who would go to, I don't care where it is. I don't care if it's the National Arts Center here in Ottawa or the Shankman Center or wherever. Who would like, no, your mistake was sentence one. You were already done. You were already doomed. You complain, yeah, like you complain later about a feeling of impending doom. That is your intuition 5 minutes late or like an hour late. Like it should have
That's
been.
like that's like your biology saying, okay, we can't ever do this again. Make sure our mind and soul know this was bad. Never repeat this action. This wasn't fun like drugs. This wasn't a fun thing. This is everything about it's bad and negative. Doom, doom, doom. So those were uh taken from the I was poisoned Twitter account. And a lot of
Yes,
them are accompanied with pictures that are very funny. I
that's
think the one
amazing.
that's pinned to their account is a review of a Taco Bell Crunchwrap situation where
Mm.
the picture usually they post pictures of the food. This woman just posts a picture of herself just laying just immobile.
Yeah, see, no, like, Elle, I'm sorry, but I forget. It's been years, but I remember this pate we used to get. It had nice gelatin on top, some peppers and stuff put into it, and then you would get these little crackers, somewhat thick, with like rosemary and different seasoning, and it was just so you put a little bit of pate on this little tiny cracker, put it in your mouth, have some red wine, nice little
Okay,
treat.
okay. At the beginning there, you lost me a little with the mention of gelatin with the
Whatever, for whatever
pate.
reason that adds to it, it really does. I'm sorry, but yeah, exactly. Next time you need a laugh, go check these out because that's, whew,
Now, some of them are really bad.
fair.
Like, there was one where this woman's like, I went to the gas station and the ice had weird white globules on it after after I drank the liquid.
Whew. Yeah.
She like paralyzed for a little bit. Like one picture was really sad. This woman had a big red mark on her head. Um, I forget what she ate, but it made her pass out and hit her head. So some of them are really sad.
Mm.
Some of them are, there's a great one about a boyfriend and girlfriend. They went to Costco and they got all these Oreos. Like we I almost included it because there was a really funny worded sentence where I wasn't sure if they were saying they were a one sleeve a day family or if they've only had one sleeve that day. I wasn't sure what they're trying to communicate, but it
Fair.
caused extreme flatulence apparently.
I have never had Taco Bell.
That's all right.
Fair.
That is
Yeah, like
all
I all
right.
the horror stories I hear keep me away. That's been my number one reason. If
I
there's
don't know how they
another
stay in
option, I always
business.
take it.
I don't
Hmm?
know how that works. I don't know how they stay in business even.
Yeah, because I
It
feel
must
like
be
this is
just
a
people who are
known.
just don't want to cook for themselves. Because Mexican food, especially the classic tacos and enchiladas, they're
Mm,
pretty easy to make and pretty easy to make really well.
yeah, yeah. It would be fun to experiment, excuse me, experiment with and do them myself. I have a really good Mexican restaurant relatively
Mm.
close to where I am. So sometimes it's just tempting to go there, get like some nice mole enchiladas.
Oh
Ooh,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, they've got good stuff there. And their tacos obviously to die for too, but whew, mole
I
on
haven't had a
anything
good
I
taco
love.
in a while.
Hmm?
I haven't had a good taco in a while.
Fair. Oh, that's funny. Never going to leave the East Coast. Have to protect myself from all y'all's weird food. Yeah.
You guys got weird stuff too. You guys eat giant ocean roaches, don't you? With the
Crab and lobster, I love. I don't know. I do love seafood. Funny enough, when I went to Nova Scotia, finally, I barely had any while I was there. I was
I
supremely
bet you guys have
disappointed.
good seafood up there, don't you?
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
The
we have
cold
good
waters basically makes the food taste better, I think. I don't know.
beats me, but yeah.
Double dirty taco,
Um,
yeah. Yeah, I guess this is why people still go to Taco Bell. You got those the cheesy gordita crunch is what the woman in the pin tweet ate and had a bad experience with.
That's so good. Yeah, nope, haven't just haven't tried. Sorry, haven't. Yeah, we I've just never been the biggest on fast food, period. Maybe the occasional Subway. Um, we have Harvey's up here, pretty good for.
Harvey's?
Yeah, that's it. It's a burgers joint.
Oh,
Um,
Hardee's?
Harvey's. No, we do
Harvey's.
we do we have Arby's and we have
Arby's.
Harvey's. like Harvey, like
Like the rabbit.
Harvey Dent, yeah. And they make really good burgers, like melt in your mouth, uh,
Mm,
and cheap. So they're even now when it feels like all the fast food joints, all their prices have skyrocketed, and you can still get really cheap, really good burgers from this joint.
mm.
We have much better burgers from other spots, but when
Stephen King had a
you
story with that exact setup.
oh yeah,
This is the cheapest place to get hamburgers.
okay, okay.
It was a happier thing than you expect.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Yeah, because so far I haven't had a bad experience, but now I feel nervous.
It was it was one with about the time travel and saving JFK. Is
Mm.
the date is the name of the book. The date he was
Okay,
killed.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
never
yeah.
remember. It was actually one of his last really good books he wrote,
Fair.
I think.
Yeah, I've heard good things about that one. I okay, food poisoning. I think I've only ever had like once, maybe twice. I have this fleeting memory of maybe one way back, but I did get it once from bad sushi. And that was
Mm,
supremely disappointing because sushi is amazing.
yeah.
So anything that poisons that experience, literally, uh, that's a downer. It took me a while. I say a while to go back, but I'm sufficiently addicted to sushi that a while is not that long. Oh man, yeah. But anyway, that was a good little that was a fun little game. That was
That was
my
fun. That
yeah.
was I had to balance between finding truly poorly written things and really funny things.
Mhm.
So I think I had a good
That
mix
last
of
one was
both.
a keeper. I'm sorry. Like just on a personal level, as I've hinted at, supremely satisfying because I feel like that is a page out of my family's history. I would not be shocked to find that that was them and they just changed the name from
Ooh.
seriously, it's that spot on. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so glad I'm not anywhere near that situation."
11/22/63. Thank you.
Mm.
I don't know if you've been watching the new It series.
I haven't, no.
Um,
I think the last what's the last new thing I really
they're kind of bringing other Stephen King characters into it.
okay,
They had a character
okay.
from The Shining who's is a surprisingly very main character.
Okay, see, that's
Um,
fun because I'm a big fan of The Shining
but I'm
and
wondering because 11/22/63 has crossover with It. Just
oh,
a very little part of the book. It has some It
okay,
elements.
okay.
So that was so I'm wondering if they're gonna bring some kind of JFK kind of stuff into it, or I don't know. I guess we'll
I
see.
like I was talking to someone recently, they were complaining, they're like, "Oh, all these authors trying to be the next Stephen King or Brandon Sanderson tying in their book worlds," and I'm like, "I like doing that." Like, there's a major tie-in
That is
between
fun.
the Fall of Selvandrea and Skyfold. There's a huge one, and it's going to become pivotal in the next Skyfold book. And then I'm going to come back to it in the Fall of Selvandrea books if all goes well. So like it's just fun. It's just a little way to. I like authors who reward attentive readers, and I like doing that in my own books. Not and I do it in a way that if you're not paying attention, it's great. You won't notice these things, but if you do pay attention, it's a nice little pat on the head.
I think the Stephen King book that I liked the most was actually It.
Hmm.
Even with the crazy stuff at the end, you just don't read. I don't know how he did it. He was able to create nostalgia like out of nothing.
Fair.
Like
Fair.
I don't know how. If I could steal that power, I'd use it for good.
Yeah.
Um,
I liked the movies. I haven't checked out the book, and I read about half of The Stand before I just stopped and have
The
never.
Stand I powered through because like this is everyone's favorite. It has to have a good conclusion, and it
Mm.
had a cool conclusion. But then it was like, eh.
Was it worth the journey, kind of thing?
No, it
Yeah.
wasn't. It wasn't.
Okay.
I read the extended version too, so maybe that was part of the
Probably doesn't
problem.
help. Yeah, yeah, because that's what I
Uh,
was reading. I was.
but I think the safest recommendation is 11/22/63.
Okay. Okay.
That's just
Yeah,
it's a
because like I said, I've heard good
fantastic.
things.
It's a really fun looking. It's like historical fiction mixed with science fiction
Yeah.
mixed with fantasy, and it's written in Stephen King's best style.
Mm.
Oh, Billy Summers. I started that. I did start that book.
Yeah.
Did not finish the book. I might finish it someday.
In terms of movies, I think like as much as I did like it, obviously, I mean, like Shawshank Redemption,
Hmm.
peak. That's so he gets an automatic like in my books for that, but he's a bit of a kooky character otherwise. But then in terms of his actual like horror movies turn or books turned movies, I would have to give it to Doctor Sleep. I really liked Doctor Sleep. That was right up my alley in on so many levels. That was just I thought it was a fantastic movie. Not everyone agrees, and fair enough,
Yeah.
but different
I think,
tastes.
The Mist was his Lovecraftian,
Okay,
um,
yeah.
uh, not attempt, homage. It
Hmm.
definitely has some Lovecrafty things in it, especially at the end of the story.
Yeah.
But his original pitch, from what I've heard him say, was he wants to do a book with all the monsters in it, all the classic monsters. He wanted
Mm,
Dracula, he wanted Frankenstein, he wanted the Mummy, he wanted all the classic horror monsters. And he was thinking of a main monster to do that would be kind of original. And so he said, "Oh, I'll do a scary clown." So it kind of evolved from that. That this clown can become all the different monsters, and it's
mm.
in the book is very fun because in the 50s, when that part of the story is taking place, you have all the 50s monsters,
Yeah,
and
okay.
when it goes into the I think the is it take place in the 90s? No, I think it's in the 80s.
Okay.
I think it's like late 80s, I think, because then it
Yeah.
goes into more modern ideas of monsters and what scares people in that time period.
Yeah, because
So
it jumps forward like 23 or 27 years. I think
I think
27?
27. I think 27
Yeah,
years. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
And
so that
then
makes sense.
it does it in such a fun way
Mm,
throughout the whole story. Um,
yeah, that makes sense.
it's
Like,
it's
to
it's it's,
mirror
it's
the fears and the stories of that period. Yeah, that would be fun.
he just needed his editor to say, "Listen, Stephen, this thing at the end. I'm not going to ask you any questions. Let's rethink this scene. Let's
Yeah,
rethink this direction.
yeah.
It Clown and Mary Poppins are the same variety of creature and in the same family. Oh, beings that feed off the okay.
It's
So
pretty funny.
in his Dark Tower series, you actually kind of have this happen. There is
Mm,
another creature that's basically an it, but instead of feeding off of fear, it feeds off of laughter.
mm,
But the way it does it is equally creepy.
okay, yeah.
It basically gets you in a laughing fit. It finds out what you think is funny, and it basically just makes you laugh until you die. Basically, it just tries to trap you with your specific humor. So it wasn't as cool as it was. It was kind of a minor thing that happens, and
Mm,
he's far more killable than the normal it monster. But he does experiment with other kinds of its, and kind of it's not as cool. Um,
in
it's not
my,
the most fun direction.
mm, in my in my Fall of Selvandrea books, I'm trying to it's not really a rule, but it is something I'm trying to have fun with, is I'm trying to take mythological creatures and put a fun twist on them in at
Mhm.
least once in every book. So I mean, uh, like I did that with chimeras in this one, in the Father of Shadow and Death. Had a little bit of fun with that. So yeah, like, and I like creature horror, so that's just something that's gonna factor into most of my books anyway. I have, I think, 3 different mythological creatures that I try to have fun with in the sequel to The Falls of Andrea. But then, like, I think, yeah, that was kind of my same thing where I wanted to what things can I bring in? Kind of Greek mythology too, right? So Greek mythology, classical monsters, just I it's fun to draw from things you've seen previously. Have
Yeah.
you seen because the series that I saw that did almost exactly that, but in a very modernized context. We might have talked about this previously too. I don't know, but have you ever seen Hemlock Grove?
Oh, I think um
So it was. I think I don't think it's on.
I'm thinking Wayward Pines. So
Okay,
no.
yeah, yeah. So no, not the same. So no, this was a Netflix series, and I think now it's. I don't think you can find it on Netflix right now, so I don't know where it is. It is
Hmm.
somewhere to stream. Really great. Like it has Famke Janssen. She's like essentially the main person, but then you have a whole bunch of others. Dougray Scott plays another key. Like he's such a good actor. He's like the only normal person in the whole series. He's just human, being human in all the good and bad ways that that implies. Whereas everyone else is like vampire or werewolf or Frankenstein's monster
Oh,
or
that's fun. Oh,
it's
okay.
all tied in, but it's in a very modern setting and very, very gritty. Like, it's a very gritty series, not for everyone, but very, very. I was
So
impressed. It was
they
well
they're
done.
they're definitely doing the it thing, or
Yeah,
the
but
the initial seed of the idea.
yeah, like bringing it all together in one context. And it's dark as hell, but it's a good series. So if you want that kind of thing
I'll
somewhere,
have to check that out. Yeah, I'll
yeah,
check that out.
yeah. I thought of it recently because the actor Dougray Scott, I just saw him
Roku.
in one of my childhood classics, Arabian Nights, that I was saying earlier that I just
Mm,
watched. And I was like, wait, what? He's like he's the main sultan in the whole movie. I just had no clue. Like, it is kind of fun watching it. Oh, it's on AMC. Yeah. Yeah. So it's fun watching actors age out and develop their skills and
yeah.
the different roles they've been in. Yeah. Like, the Arabian Nights had freaking Andy Serkis in it. Blew my freaking mind to realize he was in it. Like, the movie, follows this sultan's wife telling stories every night to keep her husband from murdering her. Right, that's the whole story, and so you witness the stories as she's telling them, and one of the first one she tells is the Alibaba and the 40 Nights, and it shows Alibaba, who is played by Rufus Sewell. So, like, Diplomat, if you've seen Diplomat, or John, he plays John Smith, the American Nazi in the Man in the High Castle.
Oh,
He's
yeah. You're talking about that before. Yeah.
Yeah, so he plays Alibaba, which blew my mind, and then to realize his brother is freaking Gollum, freaking Andy Serkis. Like, in a million, you would not know it because he had a big bushy black beard. They were trying to make him look, Arab, like I don't know from where, but wherever it was set, like Middle East kind of, vibe. It was just very, very funny to realize, wait, I know this guy, I've seen him, and then to catch it, to mind blowing moments right there.
So
Um,
EL
I
has
wonder
a.
if horror movies books on account of this.
I'm arguing both sides because I know that normal trees that lose their leaves and turn into monsters in the night. I see that quite a bit,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
but
that's tough.
I do like a good, because I can think of several frightening stories that use the evergreen forest to great effect.
Yeah.
I think it's because so you have something that is alive despite the harshness. You have this thing that's still alive. And then on the other side, you have these trees are dead, and we're in this dead thing. I don't know.
Hmm.
I think because when I think of evergreens, I think the reason why uh, is she saying they don't feature them more because they're
I
pretty,
wonder if
or
horror movies books feature more pines evergreen. No, I think she's saying more pines and evergreens. Yeah, that's tough. I'm trying to, maybe just because I get like Halloween vibe, right? Is you immediately think of deciduous trees, right?
mhm.
Like, on account, like, or no, not deciduous trees. You think of, right? I'm
I
thinking of
trees
fall.
that drop their leaves.
Yeah, yeah, I'm thinking of
She's
them.
talking about trees
She's
that
still
don't
talking
drop
about
their leaves.
evergreens. Yeah, so
Evergreens.
I wouldn't associate evergreens with horror, but I don't know. Now I'm, other than needles, like, they have needles that I guess
The
can stab
needles and
you.
they
Yeah.
get everywhere. The
Yeah.
smell of them.
They look darker and rougher. Yeah, that's interesting. Weeping willows near swamps, I like that. Yeah. Um,
Getting an emotional response is still a response. Might not always be a positive, but triggers deep thoughts. I suppose that's the point. It sticks with the person, that's for sure. I'm trying to remember the context of all the things we were talking about.
I wonder if that was delayed from earlier, maybe. Is YouTube I don't know. Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, YouTube can be tough. YouTube can be tough. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I do
Hemlock
like some
Grove and
Spanish
Wayward Pines.
moss.
I see you. Yeah, yeah.
I
Just
like some
the
Spanish
names
moss.
of them anyway. Um, yeah, there we go. Uh, because of the 2 movies we mentioned. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Hemlock Grove.
Man, people like talking about trees.
They do make for good titles. Maybe
They
that's the
do.
key point. They make for good titles, for whatever
Grove,
reason.
meadows, forest, jungle.
Yep. Talking about horror and Stephen King. Okay, yeah, yeah, and
Oh,
the fact
okay,
that you
okay,
didn't
okay,
like
okay.
them.
So
Yeah.
emotional response.
See, I did
Oh
not
yeah,
have
yeah,
an
that's true.
emotional
That's true.
response
Well,
to
often like Stephen King stuff is usually I leave the story with a very positive
okay.
feeling. Like the outcome of it, the feeling you get walking away from it is, oh, I love these characters so much. My heart is so
Yeah.
full. That's the feeling you get. 11, 22, 63. You get that same kind of feeling of, oh, like this bittersweet happiness.
Mm,
Often with a lot of his stories. I have that being said, I have not read The Mist, and I have not read what's the one about Pet Cemetery. I heard
that's
that
okay.
one's
Okay, yeah,
pretty
yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
dark.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I didn't read enough of The Stand to get a strong response. Like, if anything, I was really bored. I was like, okay, this is an interesting concept, but I'm not feeling it even for a second, and that's
Well,
part of
what
why
made you bored?
the whole thing.
What thing?
In The Stand. The Stand.
Oh, the stand was boring.
Yeah. Okay.
The
So it's
stand
not.
was
Yeah.
boring. I mean,
It's really
he had
boring.
like he had some fun ideas, but he like it was basically it was. I mean, if you really do like all those, he has a very fun. The kid who's he's not deaf. He's a mute.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
kid
Yep.
who's a mute. He's a very fun character. He's very interesting.
Yeah. Like
Um,
the characters were I would say intriguing because that would sound like I wanted to read more of them. It was just they
but
were well
it's
developed.
them walking and hanging out and talking to each other.
Yeah.
And there's this dark thing that's going to happen, and we go back. Oh, we're hanging out, we're talking, and there's a dark thing that's going to happen. I mean, we yo-yo back and forth between that promise and this
Yeah.
characters hanging out and making a little city in Colorado. And then the I don't know.
Yeah, could be timing too, because, COVID was at its peak roughly, I think,
Oh
and it
no,
was
this
just
was released a long time ago.
no, for me when I was reading it.
Oh, oh,
So it
oh.
could be that like, okay, so this big calamity has happened, the population of the world's been decimated, and from that, spawns this evil, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm
Now,
living
I
life.
really did like it in Dark Tower, where
Hmm.
they go into the Stands world for a little bit.
Okay,
So
okay.
they visit the Stands world for a moment. Um,
Huh,
Dark Tower has, I think, some of my the best of Stephen King and the worst of Stephen King is
fair.
in the Dark Tower series, which is a good little sampler of his stuff.
Hmm.
Um, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, but anyways, I mean, there's that nice variety, but no, this started because we were talking about things we've watched recently.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, and I mean, other than having watched Arabian Nights and having watched The Diplomat's newest season, which was really good, that was a fun, classy, political thriller kind of show. I love the humor in that, so that's what does it for me. But yeah, like other than that, I want to watch the Alien show. Uh,
Uh, his writing style is too dry for you. Interesting.
no, I get, yeah, 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 I
Interesting.
think so
When
too.
what book you talking? What do you have in mind when you say it's too dry? I'll wait for your response. But I wouldn't rush to watch the Alien show.
Yeah, okay.
I'm looking forward to see what they do for the next season.
Mm.
If they up their game, I'm down for that. I've been enjoying Pluribus
Pluribus, okay,
a
yeah, you mentioned that.
lot.
Yeah.
Um, they keep on like I don't they I think I don't know where they could take this concept, and
Mm.
they take it somewhere. Like, oh, that's interesting. I don't know where they can take it from there. Oh, that's interesting. Every episode has a new different little twist on how things are working. It's very, very, very fun. It's
Yeah.
very cool. And then I've been watching the It Show as
Okay,
well.
yeah, that was the one you started. Yeah, that's right, you
Yeah.
mentioned that.
That's
Yeah,
been fun because Pennywise the Clown has only just appeared in episode
okay,
5.
and
And
5
it's
episodes
his
in,
oh yeah,
okay,
Dark
okay.
Tower. Yeah. That first
Mm,
book is weird. That
fair.
first book is like not written like a normal book. Um,
Mm,
but the drawing of 3, the next one is fantastic. And then Wasteland is really good. I like Wasteland a lot.
mm.
And what's the other one?
I am in fact a squirrel.
One of the first chapters says that's fine. That's there's so much stuff to read. Why waste time with something that you may not like? Yeah,
Yeah.
squirrel.
That can be tough. I There was a stretch where I overcommitted myself to reading for others, and then eventually start stepping back and saying, "I miss reading things I like." And
Are
it's
there
not because
any
there
books that you would put your foot down and say no? Everyone should read this.
Um, I don't know because I have my books that I love, and I know that not every book is for everyone. So, even like my favorite book, Taliesin by Stephen R. Lawhead, I wouldn't recommend it to everyone. I recommend it pretty widely, but there are definitely people who would not like it. Um, it's tough. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know
I
if I
think
have a
I would say
universal.
everyone should read The Princess Bride.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. You mentioned that. Yeah. Yeah. I'm just thinking out of all the books I've read, you know, nothing that I can recommend universally for sure. The
Because
closest would be Taliesin, but yeah. Yeah, it's just because I know my interests. Like I've varied over the years. I have my techno thrillers, I have my
yeah,
epic fantasy, I have my historical fiction, I have my classics. Um, and for the most part, for recreational reading, that's the range. The range is all things that are a bit not quite niche, but if you enjoy denser reading, you'll like most of those. And then the techno thrillers are even more niche. Not everyone's going to like those,
yeah.
but we do.
The
We find them.
Passage by Justin Cronin.
Hmm.
Borderline horror. Might actually be horror. Vampires
Vampires and
Dystopian.
dystopian. Okay. Yeah.
I like that. I like that. I think why I would recommend Princess Bride to everyone, like as something you should read, especially I think as a writer. If you're a writer, I think you should read The Princess Bride
Mm,
because it's written. Its style is so pure and good. It's not overly flowery. It's
mm.
not too simple, and it has a good mix of just writing critique even within the story. Because the guy he's pretending to edit and translate this book that his grandfather read him,
Okay. Okay.
and so in the middle of the book, he'll come like, listen, the next 3 chapters are just buttercup packing. And I don't know. People have said, "Oh, it's a great satirical view on the how the king and the prince." It's like I cut it all. It was just so boring. So it's like I've summarized everything into 2 sentences for you, and then he goes to the rest of the story. It's also just fun.
Mm,
It's constantly fun and just delightful, and it's just written in such a fun, unique way that I am sure a lot of people have tried to do what he did,
mm.
pretend like he's editing and translating an ancient book that meant a lot to him.
I'm in
And
a
it's
weird, just off of what you just said, I'm in a weird place where I've written so much darkness over the, the last few years, and then I
mhm,
wrote Skyfold as a break and loved it, and now I'm starting to read more fun things, but or flipping back and forth anyway. And my current read, the title is long, so it's a bureaucrat's guide to heroism. I want to say
hmm.
hilarious so far. Just having a lot of fun with that, and that's the point. Is like I like even in darker books, if there's a good chunk of humor thrown in, if it's done well, you know, like I like books with levity like that. Maybe it just matches my own personality. If I take in too much darkness all the time, too much horror, too much
Trinity,
cynicism,
Trinity.
get
Now, the
at it,
only thing that
Trinity.
people may not like, the first maybe 30 or 50 pages is kind of an essay explaining what the Princess Bride is. And
Okay.
it's fictional biography too,
Hmm.
because it's written by William Goldman is the author, and he wrote the screenplay to Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid and Misery.
Hmm.
And so the first part of the story is him, thinking about, his work in Hollywood and talking to these big authors and big producers and thinking about his original English teacher and the story of his grandfather. And it's all written in such a wonderful, fun way. But if doesn't float your boat, you can just skip ahead to the first true chapter.
Hmm.
But I do recommend absorbing Princess Bride in all of its glory because everything ties together. It's such a fun. It's just so fun. It's so
Yeah.
fun, so clever.
Yeah. I like fun books. Um, yeah, although funny enough, that's the thing is I probably haven't made as much of an effort as I should to get as many. So yeah, Princess Bride is on the list.
Well, I think I don't know. I when I recommend stories, it's either because the story was really good or the writing was really good.
mm,
And Princess Bride is both.
fair. Yeah. But yeah, it depends. It comes and goes, right? So I right now I like where I'm at. Where the goal when I started the Skyfold series was to do one of those every other book as a palate cleanser,
Mhm.
and then which seems to work. Well, we'll see how I feel by the time I finish the sequel to the Fall of Selvandrea, which has some intense scenes all that I've already written and now gone through and expanded and fleshed out. So like it hits harder than book one for sure. And I mean I'm writing that after having just finished the darkest book I've ever written, which was, The Father of Shadow and Death. So, like, I'm probably gonna be due for another Skyfold book right after,
Yeah.
but we'll see. Like, again, I'm both mood reading and mood writing now. And I like that I've opened up the options there. So if I feel like diving into the dragon horror just because like it's gonna be awesome, then I can. But if I need a palate cleanser, I can do Skyfold, or I can do the Jin one because the Jin. I read a what was it? I read another horror book recently that was uh it was perfect because it had tons of humor while still very much being horror because it was irreverent horror. There was a crassness to it that made it fun to read,
Mhm.
and I kinda wanna do that with the Jinn. The main character in the Jinn horror is a bit of a dick, and a very f I think he's gonna be a fun character to follow. So, like, it's gonna have that vibe where, like, a lot of snarky comments, a lot of rudeness, not rude to read, but, because 'cause I'm not
Yeah.
aiming for you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's gonna be
Kinda brash.
brash, yeah, yeah, yeah. So we'll see how that goes. But I could still do that as my palate cleanser, I think. I think that would be fine. But it just depends where I'm at.
There's a character in the next Song of Bones book that, there's a scene where some characters are reprimanded by a person of authority,
Hmm.
and, I really like the scene, but it might be too much for my target audience.
Hmm. Yeah, because you're
Um,
aiming younger, right?
I mean, yeah, because
Yeah.
it's 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 dealt with gravity.
Hmm.
Like, it's not a flippant thing that happens. It's so a character is basically just slapped.
Hmm.
But it was I don't know how to describe it. If it has the moment has a lot of gravity for just a few sentences, and
Fair.
it has a big impact. So I don't want to cut it, but then I might have to cut it. I don't know.
Hmm.
I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
But he's the brash character who doesn't care.
Hmm. I Yeah, I have one scene in the sequel where I genuinely questioned it enough that I was yeah, and I think I'm past the fence now. I had actually originally added a content warning just because like
Hmm.
this chapter is going to hit, so I better put something. But now I
And before the chapter begins, or at the beginning of the
no,
book.
no. So I even contemplated doing that, and I thought, no, that's too disruptive. So what I did is I put one at the beginning of the book. I think I was even just going to say chapter 8, brace for this. Like I wouldn't word it that way, but it was something like chapter 8 uh, contains some such and such.
Hmm.
And then I eventually I then why did this happen? I felt like having some fun when I wrote something in Father Shadow and Death. Because yeah, I did put a note from the author on my dedication page. So I always from now on, what I'm going to try and do is always dedicate the book to a character. So
Hmm.
I did that for Skyfold, and I loved it. I dedicated it to Riven, and I gave a dedication kind of playing on her character and things from the book. And for this one, I did it for Alden. So I said, "To Alden and to those who believed, may your faith at long last be rewarded." You know, and as you read the book, you'll get it.
Okay. Oh. Hmm.
The Alden reference, yeah, for those who believe. And then but what I think this is gonna be my go-to now content warning for all my books going forward because 'cause I'm gonna do this exact thing going forward. It says, "A note from the author. This tale is not for the weak of mind or heart. For the former, I offer an index and pronunciation guide at the back of the book. For the latter, I offer my sincerest apologies should you press on. Do so at your own peril and may the light of the Malda protect you."
That's good. Yeah, that's because it's in universe.
Yeah.
It feels in universe. I mean,
So I might have to change it when I do the same thing. I will change it when I do the same thing for Skyfold. Well, I don't think I'll need to do that as much for the Skyfold books. I might make a quip like that about the pronunciation guide because I'm going to move that to the back of the book for future books. Um, but well, it's more an index than a pronunciation guide.
mhm.
Yeah, but anyways, like that there, the moment I added that in, because I copied it literally the same one because it works the same, and I copied that into the Light of Mazara, and I was like, well, this is there now. I don't need anything. So so now I'm just going full tilt. So I went back to that chapter that's really intense and I edited it just the other day and made it like 3 times worse. So clear. I don't know if now I'm just numb to these things, but that's the risk too as an author, right? It can be hard to
Yeah.
get into your reader's headspace because clearly my tolerance for things is getting better, which maybe not is a good thing. Maybe isn't a good thing.
The next garden maze is going to have a little summary at the beginning of the
Mm,
book of what happened last book, but it's like in universe.
okay. Yep.
It's only a paragraph though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you could read this summary and not know what happens in the first book and not be spoiled.
Okay. That's tough to do.
But
Yeah.
if you read the second book, there are certain characters you're meeting and talking to, like, oh, so if I meet them in the last book, they're probably gonna survive.
Yeah.
They're gonna so some things will naturally be spoiled, but
Fair.
I'm trying to write it. I want all of the Norland stories to stand alone as well as they can.
Mm,
Like I don't demand you read Garden Maze before reading Book of Broken Doors.
yeah. That will be true for I mean, that's definitely true for The Father of Shadow and Death. You don't need to read The Fall of Selvandrea to read that, and vice versa. I do think it makes The Fall of Selvandrea better. So I think it helps to at some point read both. Doesn't matter which order. Uh, but for people who like one, you'll probably like the other. Well, yeah, it's tough. I do want them to stand on their own. Skyfold, all those books will go together, but you can read book one. The book that's going to follow Skyfold uh, is going to like that will start the series officially. So you
Yeah.
could skip the prologue, but it does help. Um,
Yeah, the
yeah,
only thing I didn't really like about Skyfold was how speedy it was. I kind of agree with some of your critics that I wanted this to be a bigger, fuller book.
there.
So
Yeah, I
I
feel
am
that way.
looking forward to that next series in the Skyfold world.
Yeah, yeah, I've picked up on that from people that that's yeah, as a novella, which it was written to be to enter Sphinx was maybe well, I mean, hopefully that means people are eager for more, but
Well, yeah, I mean, it was a good little taste.
fair. Yeah, that can be hard
It was
to
a fun
gauge.
world.
That can be hard to gauge. Sometimes it's more a critique of you know, maybe the format wasn't right for that specific story, or is it curiosity to know more?
I think
Uh,
it worked. It worked. It was just
fair.
the world had a lot to explore that I wanted to see more of.
Yeah, yeah. Which I mean, again, I tried there. No, yeah, fair enough. Yeah. I'll take it. I'll yeah, no comment because
Yeah, your world building is fun to explore,
mm,
is what I'm saying.
fair. Yeah, so it's encouraging, which makes me want to finally like get to it. Um, that's a tough thing too. The one thing about jumping between books and series is you're always eager to write the next one, and so deciding the order in which I publish these is still an ongoing decision.
Yeah.
Because if the demand is there, uh, I don't want to put it off too long.
I
Um,
kind of like that. I haven't sold that well,
hmm,
but I kind of like that because that means I'm still kind of invisible. So I can kind of do what I want
do what
with
you
my
want. Yeah,
projects. So I have, I think I have 3 people who are really banging on my door for the next Song of Bones book.
fair. I mean, it's still relatively
If it
early
weren't for those
days,
3 people,
right?
I might have started the next Garden Maze.
Okay. Hmm.
So it just takes kind of just the 2 people to tell me what to do next, I guess is what I'm saying. So
Fair.
maybe I don't have as much freedom as I think. Um, but yeah, I like having at least a little bit of freedom
Yeah.
to not have, a bunch of people demanding things yet.
Yeah.
Eventually, I would like that problem. But
I'm stubborn enough that I don't think I'll let it sway my decisions regardless. Because though from experience, the moment that happens, it can cause you to just hit a slump
mhm.
if you don't let yourself follow your intuition and give yourself that freedom. I think for me anyway, that happened with the sequel. I was pushing myself, I think, a little. I think I knew I needed to do something else. And when I finally
Mhm.
gave in to that, it was the best thing I could have done because now I'm full tilt on the sequel, but in a much better place.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
One
so
one of the big things I'm not worried about, but I'm thinking on is because I have a lot of stories that I want to do, a lot of different genres I want to touch, and I have outlines for a lot of them that I'm very excited to do.
mm,
I'm worried if I do my sci-fi thing. I think I pitched it on Stories Untold, and they were like, "When you when did that one coming out?"
mm,
So I'm afraid if I do something like that, that'll get such a following that there'll be big demand for this,
yeah,
and my Song of Bones uh, series will have to wait. So I'm a little bit dragging my feet on that because I want to finish all the Song of Bones stuff before I get people demanding something new.
fair. I mean, I'll say this, in my case, Skyfold had a big boost initially, and now a lot of that boost seems to translate back into the Fall of Selvandrea.
Mm,
Like, like to like, and part of that is just marketing too. It's an easier book to market in general.
yeah.
And so at this point, I'm still like I get daily. Usually, it's a bad day if I haven't gotten at least one Fall of Sylvandria sale. That's just the
Wow,
rule.
that's
Whereas the
pretty
other
good.
ones, I'm like every other day or so, or maybe less, but pretty steady for the Fall of Sylvandria. So it's what gets the most traction. And when I test ads for the other two, hit or miss, but not that much. Put a little bit of money into a meta ad for Falls of Andrea, instant buys. It's like,
Yeah. I
yeah,
still need to I need to get my finances in order so I can actually budget for ads and stuff.
yeah,
Usually I I sell usually one copy or two copies of Garden Maze a month
mm,
and maybe one Song of Bones every 2 months.
fair.
So people are drawn to the fantasy more than they're drawn to
Yeah, so it's
Red
still
Wolf
Garden
or
Maze
whatever thing.
outselling Song of Bones.
Oh yeah, Garden Maze, yes,
Yeah,
by a long
yeah.
shot.
Which can also it can just relate to the length as well. Uh,
Yeah, yeah, and the price is 99 cents
Price
versus
as well. Okay,
versus
yeah, yeah,
$2,
that
yeah.
would do it too.
But
Yeah.
little secret, if you get it off my website, both are 99 cents right now off my website.
Hey.
Monday night, I'm gonna be on a stream with, Periapsis Press. They're the people who published, my Whiteout
Okay,
short
yeah, yeah.
story. So we're doing a big, kind of indie book sale kinda thing.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah. Um, yeah, that's a lot of fun. Yeah, that's so interesting, though. I mean, yeah, so price probably factors in there.
I would price it cheaper on Amazon, but Amazon won't let me because the illustrations in A Song of Bones have made the book too
Oh, the
big to price at
size, the
99
file
cents.
size?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I
bummer.
could go through and re-edit everything and uh, change the size of the images, and I don't
Yeah,
know.
'cause
But
you
one
could
thing I
probably.
definitely want to do for all my next books, I want to have my physical version and my ebook version to be different.
Oh, so that was gonna be my question because I figured if you just like, you don't have to change the actual physical size, but, resized in terms of, data size, then but if you only you would have to do that separately in the ebook. Yeah.
I'm talking about like how things are formatted, like like there are jokes I want to make in the formatting for the next Garden Maze book that will
Hmm,
not work in digital. They will only work in print. So
okay.
if you buy a physical copy of the next Garden Maze story, you're going to get jokes you will not see in the digital edition.
Fair. I had budget equals time spent on X and being me. Yeah, I mean, I've only recently now committed to a monthly budget, and it's very low, and it's not paying out yet. This month, uh, it's just one steady ad on Meta, and it's half paid out. So, um, like for every dollar I spend, I get 50 cents in royalties.
Hmm.
So that's how it's been, which is pretty darn good. That's a solid.
Yeah, you're getting eyeballs.
Yeah. So I mean, I'll take that. That's extra readers for now, just extra eyes on. And as it gets better and as I get more income from other sources, I can factor that in, slowly increase that, slowly test it for the other books. I expect that will increase when I have the next one because then I can show those
Oh yeah, oh
two
yeah.
covers
So,
next to each
somebody
other.
was talking in our Twitter chat about how they released their third book and all their sales went
Mm.
crazy.
Oh, you mean on the Discord, right?
Yeah, on the Discord. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, on the Discord, exactly. Whoever said that, I was like, yeah, yeah. That's the thing too. So that's going. I anticipate I'll close off the trilogy. Well, I say close off because again, it's open. It is definitely open ended to more, but as an arc, the arc ends with a trilogy. Book book three, that's a solid 2 years, well, more like yeah, like 2.5, 3 years down the road because
Hmm.
I want to do another uh probably 2 to 3 books after book two, and then do book three.
Yeah,
Um,
I've really shot myself in the foot with this. With
mm,
I've this has been my college. I've learned how to write books now. I know how
fair,
to do it. So
yeah.
Song of Bones is it's supposed to be a trilogy. It's gonna be 5 books though, because book one is 3 books now, and but it ends it doesn't end on a cliffhanger, but it ends on a very big world altering event that go, oh, I want to know what happens next. So but
Mm,
now I know how to budget my plot uh viscosity for the
mm,
next few books. They don't have to become, trilogies of themselves. And Garden Maze, I've ruined myself because each Garden Maze, uh, those books will never end.
mm,
But they're all standalone.
yeah.
So they're the only time you'll have a complete Norland series is probably when I'm dead. When this is the last one he made, this is the complete series.
Mm,
I have stories out like a zoo
yeah,
with little garden maze stuff. So I'm excited for my comic. So my comic will hopefully drive even more sales to my garden maze stuff.
sure. Fun problem to have, having too many ideas.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It's better than the alternative. I don't know. I'll take it.
Russell mentioned something about the Fussy Librarian, $18 being best ad run for the sales. Oh, it's been okay. So budgeting
That's for
18
their
bucks.
bargain. Is that for their bargain books sales? Because they have their free book. You can do their.
I think he's talking about budgeting for ads. They were saying that $18 is a good
Was it an article by Fussy Librarian? I'm just trying to, because Fussy
maybe.
Librarian in particular, you pay them to have a newsletter payment. $18 is, I think, about for one or two of their categories. You can pay $18 to get a bargain placement. So when you have a sale on your book, you get a newsletter placement, and usually you get some
Any
good
special
returns.
editions coming out, Tim? You gonna
That's
are
someday.
you gonna George Lucas your books?
Oh, I would love to do special edition. Like I would love a nice, like, gold trimmed black leather. I like the Threadlight series is my favorite one I've seen. Like that's the goal. The goal is that one's by Zach. Come on. $18 per book resulted 20 sales for one of his books. Yes, that tracks because I mean, I've done bargain sales and sold like 30, 40, 50 even. But that's on a lower price. But no, I guess they were on sale, so it would have to be for him too. Yeah. Yeah, that tracks. Like Fussy Librarian, the one thing is if you then place the same book again later, doesn't even matter how much later, I promise you it will be less. Because as
Hmm.
a newsletter, it is still a limited audience. They talk about how big it is, but it is still limited, so people will recognize you and probably or they already have the book, right? So you're not yeah, you're not necessarily I would encourage authors to only use it for the same book like twice maybe. Uh,
Hmm.
Especially if the ad does well the first time, it probably won't do as well the second. That was my
Yeah.
experience consistently. Because I've done it with 2 or 3 books now, and I'm
For that newsletter?
yeah,
So
exactly.
you might explore and find more newsletters then.
Yeah, well, exactly. So you can do it. There are other not Fussy Librarian, but there are other ones that do that
Okay.
same thing. Yeah.
But in response to Trinity's question,
Yeah.
I think the only reason you would get new editions or versions of Garden Maze or Song of Bones is if one of the classic publishers approaches me and says, we would like to purchase the rights to your stories. Then you might get new art. You might get
Mm.
a real good editing pass. I don't know if there's any little mistakes in there, but there might be. Who knows? Um, and then
I mean,
Garden Maze, the beginning, I would tweak a little bit. I think I would
okay.
tweak the beginning a little bit because Missy's character at the last half. She's not set up as well as she
Mm,
could be. I kind of set her up in the manor when they go to the scary manor. There's just hints of her in there, but I would go in the very beginning and hint at her character somewhat
mm.
more strongly.
I think if I did a special edition at this point, like I kind of already did a re-release, right, and a revised edition of the Fall of Selvandrea. But when it comes to special editions, I don't think I would be changing anything content wise. But the dream would be just I want to max out how much art I can get from Joe Urquiza.
Yeah.
So I want more black and white illustrations. I would want interior color illustrations. And this is the I tried to find her name 2 seconds ago and I couldn't. I know it's Francesca something. I have an email list from her, and I'm sure I have a a bookmark somewhere. So it really shouldn't be that hard to find. I would have to run a search though, so I won't do it now. But Francesca something does these incredible maps. I don't
Mm.
I want to skip over lousy maps. I know everyone wants them for my books. I'll get there eventually, but my dream is just to skip straight to her maps where it's like old school style, here there be dragons, illustrations all around the corners, and it looks like it's on an old scroll, and so everything is just beautiful. Like one of those really she's done them for Game of Thrones, she's done them for
Oh wow,
like
yes.
a whole bunch of big names, and they look incredible. And their prices are up there, but enough that I mean I can have like anyways, it's that would be the dream. Hell,
So,
if I did a Kickstarter for
oh,
The Light of Mazara and got enough money, I I don't see that happening, but if it did,
definite stretch goal.
that would be a yes, yes, thank you. Yeah, yeah, there we go. Let me um that is her. That is yeah. Like I'm looking at them right now. That's the dream. And like her maps are just a whole other level of amazing.
The
Um
next Garden Maze book is going to have a map. I
okay.
haven't decided because the way the story works and the way the world works, the map might be in the middle of the book
Hmm.
as opposed to the beginning because there's story spoilers even in how the map is drawn.
Hmm.
Like I'm doing something odd.
Fair.
Um,
Yeah.
so the comic will touch on how maps are funny in Norland as well.
Hmm.
Um, but for Garden Maze for Song of Bones, the true sequel will have a map of the entire area.
Hmm.
You won't get a map for the next two Song of Bones stories, but in the true sequel, The Hood of Eyes, you will get a map of that
Fair.
world, and it'll be in universe. I want all my maps to feel like they're made by the characters that you've made.
Hmm. Yeah, that is some fun, especially for kids slash like animal characters and for a kid audience. Yeah, there's extra fun
And the
there.
map may not be accurate.
Yeah. That reminds me of uh okay, Leatherbound Special Edition by Dragon Steel.
A leather bound. Oh man, for 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 Norland stuff, there'd be so many little funny things you could do
Hmm.
with because the way
Uh,
that I don't want to talk too much about how Norland's universe works. Um, there'd be so many little Easter eggs even in how the leather is presented.
hmm.
If I had a much bigger budget, this book would be
Yeah.
the outside of the way the book is constructed is how the story even works,
Hmm.
if that makes sense. And then a leather bound Song of Bones would be really fun. Make it look like it was found outside.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what else I would do with a special edition. So Leatherbound would be awesome. Map, really nice map, more interior art. What else? What else would be the dream to add? I mean that's the those are the priorities for sure. I mean, even as is in the for this coming sequel, yeah, I want to get two more pieces of art. I have one already that I've
Mhm.
shown off previously. In advance, I got Joe to do that because I was like, "Oh, this scene has to have a black and white image," and
And
it
plus, when you have a map, people like to buy those even separately, especially if it's a good map.
maps. Yeah,
Like
yeah,
if
yeah. Well, same with the illustrations. I got a request the other day to start doing prints of like I have a metal print behind me of the right there.
oh, I've
Uh,
been invited in February. If anyone's in the Miami area, I'm going to be at a literacy fair. I'm going to have a
mm,
booth and be signing copies. And my sister's going to be there, and we're going to make these little Norland Press stationery
mm,
little rectangles, and we're going to be doing sketches. So if
that's
you if
fun.
you buy a book, you'll not only get a signed copy from me, you will get an original illustration from my sister as well.
Nice. That's fun. That's a lot of fun. Yeah, like, I wanna do more things like that, like, add a little flair when I do my next signings. Um, yeah, building up to it. Like, right now, most of what I do is digital,
Mhm.
and kind of okay with that for now. If anything, I kinda
Oh
want
yeah.
that for now. Um, keep building, especially since part of that is busyness from editing work and teaching and contest judging. I have to be flexible for the contest judging, which is tough too, because once it starts,
Mhm.
uh,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Unrelated. So there was a Renaissance fair
Mm,
in Miami, and most of my family went. I didn't go. Most of them went, and there are people with booths set up selling stuff like little things, but no one was selling books,
huh, that's
and everyone was
wild.
all the people selling things were in character. So if I
Okay,
dressed up as like a monk or something and I have my little booth, I could be
yeah,
in character selling fantasy books at the Renaissance Fair. So I don't know if anyone's done that yet,
that's prime. Yeah, that's
but
genius.
next year I'm definitely gonna see if I can get in. I looked their form to be a seller in the Renaissance Fair is very I didn't even see a price. They didn't even say a price. They just
Hmm,
said name what you're selling and we'll tell you if you can come or not.
wow, yeah, I
I'm
mean,
sure there's a price to be in there. Yeah.
yeah, I'm hoping to finally go to one of these big cons, for the first time, in 2027, so that'll be for Worldcon because that's just gonna be here in Montreal, so I'm
Ooh.
very much hoping to get to
When is
that.
2027?
Sorry?
You said 2027?
Yeah, yeah, so,
I'm gonna try to be there.
yeah. Hey, that would
I'm
be
gonna try to be
fun.
there. If I
Cool.
have money, I'm gonna come to Worldcon in Montreal. That'd be cool.
That would be awesome. Hey, we'll get to actually meet in that would be so
Yeah,
cool.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, we'll make
yeah.
that happen. Okay. That gets me a little more excited because I know 1 or 2 people are gonna be there, I think, so that'll be a lot of fun, but not enough people. Yeah, that makes me excited. Okay. Yeah, and
Mhm.
again, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I might bring some of my stuff, but really I just wanna hang out, meet people, buy some books, have some fun. Really just gonna be my first time to see what it's like at one of these conferences.
Yeah.
Yeah, Trinity, oh, I hope you're there too. That would be cool. Oh, okay, now
I
that
so
I'm getting a
the
little
the the,
excited.
the literacy fair I'm going to. I got lucky because my sister-in-law is good friends with the person putting it on. They
Mm,
just invited me to come. So I don't know if any other people are paying for booths, but I was just invited.
yeah, that's fun. Yeah. Yeah, like, that's the thing is bigger cons like that, I wouldn't want it. One, I don't wanna pay the price. Even some of the Comic Cons, like, we have Comic Con here in Ottawa too. I wouldn't want to even know right now the price to get a table because I'm just not
Hmm.
interested enough yet. It would be fun to go just to see, just to experience, just to meet some authors who are doing it, get
Oh
some
yeah, rub
tips.
shoulders, listen to some big names talk about stuff, and
Yeah, that would be my
yeah.
reason for going now. For now, it's just for fun and experiment. Um, yeah, which is maybe the thing I was thinking about that the other day. Like you lean into your strengths, and it's not about comfort. I like stretching my comfort zone. I like learning new skills. It's why I decided to do my own audiobooks too after some
Mhm.
experimenting and and I'm still learning there. Like I- I'm usually fine with pushing myself in different ways, but for whatever reason, like Trinity and I have talked about this before. So I know like Trinity does tons of in-person sales. It seems like I think correct me if I'm wrong, but it's where she gets like most of her sales. Which is too bad on some fronts because like I try to convince more people to read her dang book because it's good. Bloodbound is freaking amazing. Like it's it's not how do I put this? These days I read so many first books by indie authors, but there aren't many who are so good that I'm immediately like, okay, your sequel is now immediately on my TBR as well for
Mhm.
like almost as soon as possible. The exceptions are Trinity and EL Lions. I have that right behind me there. So Ostringer's Wrath is not my like those two sequels are very high on my TBR.
Craft and vendor markets, yeah.
At person events, craft vendor markets, yeah, like which is so cool. But I again, someone who seems I'm normally okay with putting myself out there, trying new things, but I have this visceral disinterest in doing that at this current moment in my life. I can't explain why. It's just there. It's just I'm liking the experience I'm having with social media marketing and testing out ads. And yeah, it's hard to explain.
Yeah.
Maybe when I'm more established, have more books that I can sell at once. My experiences selling just one or two books were fun, but I felt like something was missing. I don't know.
Hmm.
Hard to put a
I'll get
finger on it.
a I'll get a good vibe in February when I go to this thing.
Yeah,
Um,
let me know. I mean, because I'm
the
interested.
so craft and vendor my younger brother came back with a dagger in a sheath.
Mm,
He got at the Renaissance Fair. He's like, "Look what I got." I
that's fun.
was like, "They sold a dagger to you?" Like, "Yeah, I could." He was starting to sharpen. Like, "Ooh, this is getting sharp." Like, "Stop sharpening them." Yeah, he had a great time. What is THLF? What does that stand for? The Half Life Fun Event. Something.
Something probably
Irving.
festival, but yeah.
I remember Irving.
Hmm. Yeah. Uh,
I'd love to go to more real events or in person things. Or
yeah,
maybe I'll
and
go to this one and I'll hate it. I don't want
I'm in an okay place for it. Like Editors Canada had an event here in Ottawa a while ago, and that looked fun. But
Cosplay's my no, that I would have to dress up as an animal, and that's unacceptable. Um, a garden maze I could dress up as. It'd be fun to dress up as a knight.
mm,
I was thinking I would go cheap. I'd get like a hood, some brown, maybe some dirt on my face. I already have a kind of an old fashioned kind of fun beard. Maybe I could trim it a little bit, get it kind of sharp. I don't know.
they have they change the theme every year, but they have a ball,
Oh yeah.
Oktoberfest kind of ball, and at the National Arts Center here. And years ago, I went, and the theme that year was uh, Renaissance medieval kind of thing. Or maybe not quite. Anyways, I went dressed kind of somewhat Napoleonic era, and it was fun, but no, the event itself sucked. It was just fun cosplaying for a day. It was the first time I'd ever come anywhere near to doing that. Had like a tricorn hat with a feather and a Napoleonic
My
looking coat.
so my brothers and sisters when they went to the Renaissance Fair, it was very last minute. Like, oh, people dress up, we can dress up. I'm like, sure, yeah. So they had like they had 6 hours to come up with a costume. My brother dressed up as a perfect Wesley
Hmm,
from Princess Bride, and my youngest brother dressed up as a perfect Link from Legend of Zelda. It's hilarious,
that would be
absolutely
fun.
hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point, Trinity. Like it would help to not go on my
Yeah,
own. Like
team up. Yeah.
Mike and Ro are always talking about going together and how that makes it
hmm
more fun. And that makes sense to
It'd be
me.
cool to meet up with Mac and Row one of these things too. That'd be
Yeah,
fun.
yeah.
It'd be cool to even like I know we're none of us are quite big enough for it, but it'd be cool if we had a live show where we just kind
Live
of
panel kind of
a
thing, or
live
like the
panel.
yeah,
Yeah, that'd
yeah,
be
yeah, yeah,
cool.
yeah, that would be fun. Yeah, yeah, it depends. I did that one panel a while back, for TBR Con, which was super fun, and I was, like, by a long shot, the smallest author on that panel, so it was very cool to rub shoulders with big shots, but at the same time,
Oh
I was
yeah,
like, "I have nothing to say, that they're not already saying," so it was a bit underwhelming in terms of actually being part of the panel, like,
yeah.
I just felt like I was overlapping with what everyone else had already
And
said.
in reality, you're just in your room,
Yeah, and
spying at your
that too,
computer.
reality as well. You're just here, across the world, and it ends and you all go your separate ways, and
Yeah, I
it'd be
would
way
love to hear the audience interaction.
that yeah, 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 that'd be
Get
fun. That
heckled and counter
that
heckle.
like, it's fun, it's already fun enough when you are at a when you I found that part of signings fun, like, just questions, just back and forth with random strangers walking by and being like, "Oh, an author, cool, I'll come talk." Like, that was super cool, and it kept happening. I was shocked. I was genuinely weirdly shocked the first signing I did, and it was at, like, the chapters, one of the bigger chapters here in Ottawa, and people are just coming and talking to me. I'm like, "Well, cool, here's a book," you know? But we had, like, good chats. They had people were genuinely interested, really interesting questions too, that I wouldn't have asked if I came up to an author. So I was like,
Mhm.
it was just a great experience. Yeah, the back and forth with people. So doing that with, like, a big room full of people, that'd be yeah. Although, then now this is coming from different events that's with a similar setup. So people coming forward one at a time with questions or raising their hand one at a time. You always get the monologuers. That can be rough. Like, just ask your question and get out, but it never happens. It's always like, "Well, you see, my life story is that I
What
did
I learned
this."
a very really young kid, I really liked reading your story. I read it 3 days ago, but made me feel like a really young kid when I read it, and
And yeah, it takes
on
them
and
like
on.
half an hour to get to their question, and by
Anyway,
the end
anyway, what's your favorite color?
yeah.
All your books are the same color. Is that on purpose? It's not very good.
That's so accurate, though. It's so accurate. I hate watching those for exactly that reason. Like, if you're watching
Oh,
one of
did you
these
see that?
channels.
Like, that one guy asked George Martin, like, "Do you have
Oh, yeah,
anyone
yeah,
lined up to finish in case you die?"
yeah. Yeah,
Oh boy.
yeah, that was painful to watch.
Oh,
Um,
this is embarrassing, man. I mean, it's sad that guy didn't have quite the situational awareness to know he's kind of fumbling and
yeah, and that is the danger with public events is all
yeah,
different types of people are gonna be there, including people who may say
and
something
that's also
colorful.
it's also special.
Yeah,
That's also it's fun to interact with everybody, even
yeah,
if some interaction is a little bit more awkward than others. It's good to see everybody.
yeah, yeah.
Well, we've
Okay,
been
how are we
going on
doing?
for like almost 2.5 hours,
I was
man.
gonna say, yeah,
The
like
time has run away. Um, Everyone, if you haven't already, Father, The Father of Shadow and Death by Tim McKay is out, and the audiobook is about to be out as well.
yeah,
That's gonna
any
like
day, any
any
day.
day, as soon as Amazon stops dragging their little digital feet, that'll be out.
Yeah.
And also, Skyfold. The audiobook, the new audiobook, is that done for this one yet? Or
That one had that yeah, that audiobook has been out, and that one's staying as is. Yeah,
okay, that one. And then we have a brand new version of
that's what's
Fall of
in the works
Selvandrea
right
coming too.
now. I have recorded, so including the prologue, there are 87 chapters. I have, as of today, recorded 70. So 17 chapters to go. And then I
Oh
need to edit,
boy.
and then it'll if I'm really good at end of December, more likely early January, if I'm being
That's
realistic.
that's pretty good. That's
Yeah.
a good speed, I think.
Yeah, which is exciting because well, the thing too is I can edit audio any time of the day. So there's no
Mhm,
constraints because of my voice, or because of noise. So I can do that really anytime, which means I can also be drafting the second book early in the day, do my editing work, judging, teaching, work all and anyways, point is, what that means is that I'll release that audiobook and not too long after release book 2 and then release the audiobook for book 2 and then like I like this steady stream of publishing something. It's
mhm.
been one of the fun things of this last year. So, part of the fun thing of doing audiobooks as well is it's one more thing to publish. Yeah,
Very
so
good.
all 3 books for now. The thing too is the audiobook for oh, maybe I need to double check that this is the case, but I'm gonna give a cheat to people right now. As far as I know, when the file updates, for the Fall of Selvandrea, if you've bought it on Audible, it will update to the new version. The new version is longer by a solid 3 hours. Like, it's gonna be maybe even more. As I'm getting close to the end, it's already close to 3 hours longer. So that means the base price is gonna jump up. So if you are buying it by, cash as opposed to an Audible credit, this is the time to buy it because
Before it increases in price,
it
yeah.
will be more expensive in the new year. Yeah. So just for anyone who's listened to us this long, you're getting this little secret right now. But
That's a My sleazy side thinks, that's a fantastic little marketing nugget.
It's the closest thing to a sale you can do for an audiobook,
Yeah.
in a way, because I don't have control over the price. It's based on the length, and you never get to budget. Uh, so so this is your chance for anyone who wants it at a lower price. But again, Audible, like, you can use a credit, obviously,
Yeah.
to cover the whole thing. So if you have credits, great. If you don't, or you don't have, Audible Plus, then you know what to do. This is the time. It's
The time is now, people.
Yeah,
The time is now.
audiobooks, they ain't cheap, so yeah. I wish I could run sales because they are fun. Like, all you have control over is the limited number of promo codes they give you. So,
hmm
yeah.
Are you able to get that whole audio book file from
Like,
Audible?
to
Like when it's all put together?
will I be able to distribute? Like,
Like in the
that's a
future,
whole
if something horrible happens to Amazon and they lose all
well, I
authority.
mean, I still have the original files,
Okay,
so
okay, good, good, good. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, I don't give that. I upload them, but I have my own copies of everything. Yeah, yeah.
It's
Yeah,
cool.
so worst case scenario, that's still mine. And then the thing too is, I get better royalties if I go Audible exclusive, which for now I do. But if I want to give the audiobooks as part of that Kickstarter we were talking about, I might take them down from exclusive, take the royalty hit, but then give them out.
Yeah,
I'm going to ask Audible or NAC, like, I'm going to ask ACX if you can switch back to exclusive later. Because that would be my ideal would be take it down from exclusive so that I can give them as part of the Kickstarter. Because I would specifically give The Father of Shadow and Death, The Fall of Selvandrea, and The Light of Mazara. All three audiobooks would be part of the Kickstarter. That's
yeah.
the goal. Um, but I would also want to then be able to put all three back exclusive on ACX later.
I'm sure there's a way to do it.
Yeah. To take it off exclusive, you just have to email them and they'll do it for you. But I didn't see a clause about putting it back, so I'll ask them and we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They might even have a special thing for Kickstarters because I imagine it's common enough.
that would. Yeah, I mean, yeah, yeah. It might be a common enough request that they'll be prepared for it at the very least. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, cool. Everyone,
go.
thank you for joining us on this wonderful episode of All Caps. We learned so much. We talked editing, we talked style, we talked heart, we talked dreams, we talked about getting food poisoning. We
It
the full gamut of the human experience.
was a very full conversation. It was great.
Oh man, we covered all topics, man. We covered everything.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. Well, everyone, have an awesome night, and it was great being on again.
Oh, it's great to have you. Everyone, goodbye.
Cheers, all.
Goodbye.